if you know what I mean.
It is 9:30 on a Thursday night, and you are tuned into Beltway Radio and Beyond, which can mean one and only thing. This is Chip Chat. Welcome to Chip Chat, everybody. Hi, I'm Chip. Who are you, Tez?
You just told him.
You heard him in the background. Tez is coming in hot, as tradition dictates.
No, usually I'm on time.
Oh, usually you're on time. 3 times in a row he's on time now. It's usually.
Usually I'm on time. I'm usually coming in here 2 minutes before.
Well, I like your hat tonight.
Yes.
You're wearing the hat of the now record-setting Washington Grays.
This is my original one, which is actually gray.
Yeah.
From sun.
Yeah.
The sun. Never mind.
The sun turns things gray.
I don't know if they have
Is
time.
that what happened to my beard? It's from being outside. Thought it was stress and getting old.
No, just the sun.
Just the sun.
The new sun.
Oh, shit. Okay, never mind. Scare everybody.
Yeah.
What is this? This is a book.
A big one, yes.
The Wide, Wide Sea.
Yes.
Oh,
it's all about
terrifying.
conquest and James Cook sailing for Mother England and eventually getting killed by Hawaiians.
Yeah.
Because they were like, why did you come back so soon?
Well, he needed stuff.
He did.
He had run out of stuff, and he needed to get back. That was the last gas station he knew.
It is, yeah.
It's literally true.
Yeah,
Go look it up. It's in your book.
It's a very.
You're pretty far along in this.
Yeah, this is almost done. Like 10 pages left. He's stupid. He's out. The ego is wild. He didn't have to die in the actual battle itself. Like anyways. But the Hawaiians eventually were nice enough to kind of negotiate giving back his limbs and stuff. They buried him at sea.
That's good.
He gave them many diseases.
Welcome back from his homeland.
Yes.
And your homeland.
Yeah, I'm definitely back from there. Oh, God.
Congratulations on your Euro final. You're about to I finally defeat the Spanish Armada.
I don't think that's going to happen. Because
I think so.
As I've said, and I got to find a quote. I have it somewhere before I close all this stuff out. I told my fellow friends and coworkers, I was like, don't worry, it's more than likely that England is going to England on Sunday.
Yes.
And it's also for a squad that's always talking about football's coming home, they're always getting sent home with no trophies.
Okay.
It's going to happen again.
But now, Saka,
Yes, but trust me, I'm weird with England. Like I want, like when they win, I'm like, yeah, and when they lose, I kind of laugh.
Foden, I mean,
yes, no, I mean, it's also this
is the hottest squad you could possibly have.
But it's not
not to mention your amazing goalkeeper.
Oh, yeah, Mr. Frog Splash
himself.
Most
shutouts in history.
Oh, Ramsdale, you mean? I'm not joking.
No.
No, I don't know.
Everton great Jordan Pickford.
Yo, yeah, what do you?
Yeah. Roger's here. Let's get on to the show.
Okay, yes.
We'll wreck
this
anyway. All right, so we're back from a break, and just like every time we go on break, nothing happens.
Nothing happens.
What didn't happen was Joe Biden had an abysmal debate performance. That actually happened while we were on the air.
Oh, my God. I should have called in. I was up. It was 2:00 in the morning. I was at a hotel outside of Heathrow. And the
Supreme Court took all the governmental power for itself, except for the power that they gave to the current president and all future presidents, apparently. More on those things later. The big news, of course, is not England in the Euro final.
Nope.
Or Berhalter getting fired over here, thank God.
Obviously.
Or various other things. The big news, of course, is that Roger Mooking is back.
Yes,
with something new. So new, in fact, that we don't even really know exactly what it is.
No.
It comes out tomorrow. And so we don't get to know, but we're going to ask him, and he's going to tell us.
God bless him for coming on this show. to announce something.
Wait till you find out how that came to be.
Oh,
because you actually know, because I think I sent you a screenshot of the text message. Okay. Anyway, so we're gonna ask him about his new stuff. Also tonight, we're gonna play our favorite game, the clip game.
Yeah. I thought I was gonna be prepared for that. I'm not prepared for
You're not prepared for it.
Anything.
Brian is the only person on the planet who's prepared for the clip game because he makes the game. That's how it works.
That works.
So it's gonna be a packed show. It's short. I mean, literally not a lot written.
No.
But,
when they say even preparing for the show, I obviously looked through it and I was just like,
no, you didn't.
I definitely did. And I just all the topics, I was like, oh yeah, I've been screaming about them to everybody. Like I'm in a very interesting place right now.
Yeah, I am
to be because I'm being very we need to be very practical about what happens. I just watched a press conference that the media was waiting for. They've been waiting for this moment.
I listened to it. Yeah, we're going to talk about that. But
anyways,
yeah, my anxiety level has been. My therapist, I had therapy on Wednesday, or Wednesday yesterday, whatever. And she goes, "It's clear you're well over 100." And I was like, "Yeah, I think so." So fortunately, we have this show, which is our real therapy.
Exactly, and also too, I'm sure that anytime Roger comes on, it's always
he's a calming influence. Yeah. I mean, he's going to help us burn out our problems.
Exactly. There we go.
There you go. It's a little
call back. Good call.
Okay. So do you have a word?
Yeah, I got a word.
Okay, I'm ready. So sit back, grab some. It's Inside Out time. You're listening to the best show, the only show, Chip Chat on Beltway Radio and beyond.
Sweeps!
All right, welcome back to Chip Chat here on Beltway Radio and beyond. I'm your host, Chip. With me is Tez.
What's popping up?
All right, so we're going to get to it. Ready?
Straight to it.
Roger Mooking is a man of many talents. When he's in the studio making music, some folks say he's cooking. When he's in the kitchen cooking, some folks say he's a vision. And when he's creating grand works of visual art, some folks say it's poetry. And when he's rhyming over a beat, well, that, my friends, is how we bring this whole metaphor full circle. Roger has a new project out, which we can't wait to find out more about because we don't even know. Roger, welcome back to Chip Chat.
Yeah, what's up, yo? How y'all doing, fans?
Whoa, we got some weird audio stuff. Where are you?
Weird audio. What's wrong with the audio, though?
I don't know, Brian. I don't know. We'll fix it. I may kick you out and have you come back in. But you look like you're out on a farm or something.
One second. Let me try something.
Oh, hold on. We're fixing it. One second.
How's that?
Much better.
Great.
Much better?
Yes.
Oh, yes.
Awesome. There it is.
Okay, where are you?
I'm at I got this retreat compound I do stuff at. It's called Rocklands Market, so I'm out there.
Oh, wow. Okay. Well, it looks relaxing and rustic, which we could use some right now. So
no comment.
So, yeah, right. Don't worry. We're going to ask you lots of comments. So a little while ago,
lots of comments is a crazy thing. Anyways, go ahead. Sorry.
A little while ago, I would say maybe a month or so ago, a couple months ago, Roger, you sent me a message that said something to the effect of, I've got something new and cool to tell folks about. Can I come on the show and tell them? And we were like, absolutely. And then you said the due date, it's coming out tomorrow. And we were like, perfect. Let's get you on. So what is this new thing that you've got happening tomorrow?
Well, there's a few things. There's a few things right now. So tomorrow actually is like a new thing that's an old thing. So y'all know me, like, I guess y'all kind of were introduced to me through Manfire Food and stuff, right?
That's where we started, but we also
Yeah.
know you as a musician.
Yeah, you know me, musician. So this, we're actually releasing for the very first time my original group from Edmonton when I was like a teenager. We're releasing the singles that like really blew up here. So we had just put them out like as little handwritten cassettes back in the days on consignment and selling them into stores. But we got like nominated for Juno Awards off of that, which is like Grammy in Canada. Juno
Yeah.
Awards, and we won all these Canadian Music Video Awards, and that kind of morphed into the group that I ended up being in that really did really, really well. So we're releasing the singles of that it's called Jungle Man, and the B-side is called The Vibe. And it's like limited edition, 7-inch vinyl. It's the first time it's ever being released in like 30 years.
Is this what I seen you posting like you was printing up in Jamaica?
Yeah,
I got that
was
wrong.
like clips or something.
No, that's a whole other thing, bro. You know me by now. I got like 10 shits on the go all the time.
Oh
bro.
God.
Is it available in the States? Can we get it?
Yeah. You just got to hit up the record company, Funky Dividends Records. We ship it globally, dog. Yeah, 100%. There's not a lot of them though. You gotta get on that.
I will be.
What's the how many you pressed up again?
I don't even. I know it's like a very small number, like 500 or something stupid.
Oh
like
shit!
that.
Price.
Yeah,
That,
it's small. DJs in Canada are like, yo, I'm cop. That's immediate buying too. You know, like they're on that. You know.
For everybody listening, they're not available to you until Saturday.
No, don't say that.
Sir,
we need some. All right, we need a record.
But that drops tomorrow. But then I also just last week or 2 weeks ago, we just dropped my new series on Amazon. It's called Breaking Bread with Roger Mooking, and it's like disrupting the podcast format and disrupting the cooking show format and blending them together.
We're going to ask you about that, which is very exciting. So the first question that I wrote without knowing what all the things were is this something that we can listen to while we cook, and should we?
Yeah, of course, man. Like music, it's like wine. I look at it like wine, right? People are like, oh, you should have Riesling with fish, or like this with it. Whatever, man. Drink whatever the fuck you like, when you like, how you like. If you like it, drink it. It's cool. If you want to listen to this while you playing the music, while you playing racquetball, while you trying to like beat up some fools, like do what you gotta do, you know.
Hey, I am all about that. All right, so yeah, we want to talk about the Amazon show.
Can I ask one more before we jump into that? I think, right, Roger, for musicians, right, sometimes like going back and re-releasing stuff is like it's not cringy. All cringy, right? Stuff like, but obviously for this, it's already was successful in one era. And it's like, how did y'all get together to be like, yo, we need to do this? Like, because also, too, this is like, I assume there's like some emotional piece to this as well, too. If this is like a first group, this is kind of the first thing. Would you say this is the first thing you was known for? Or
this is the first thing that really launched my whole shit, man, like 30 years ago.
How did that feel? How does this feel to put it out?
Great question.
You know, it's really cool, man, because like I was estranged from the guys in this group for a bunch of years for a variety of reasons. And then the call came in from this record company, Funky Dividends, that they wanted to release this classic record. And so we're like, yo, let's do this thing. And we kind of reconnected over that. And we had reconnected over an interview that we had done over somebody else was doing like this documentary on Canadian hip hop last year as well. So between those two things, it's kind of like reformulated this relationship that's kind of gone estranged for a little bit, just because, you know, I'm like all over the place, bro. I'm nowhere and everywhere at the same time, right? And so it's really cool, man. It's amazing to kind of relive those moments and to listen to it on vinyl and see the excitement that people have around copping it, and DJs and the music community and the fans from back in the day are like, yo, what's this? And then the new fans are like, I know this guy from this TV show stuff, but like, what's this he does? And then they peep it. They're like, yo, I gotta cop that. So it just is this crazy whirlwind of things I never expected off of this release, man. It's really cool. Between that and the Breaking Bread thing, the reception has been crazy, you know.
Did you do any like new re-recording for this or re-engineering, or was it all just using the old masters?
Old masters. We just sent them through and had them master on for vinyl. And I got to tell you, like, a few people hit me up, like, you know, people who know music and mixing and production are like, yo, I like the new mix. And I'm like, yo, it's no same mix. It's just for vinyl. You know, that's just the magic of the vinyl.
That's really interesting that you say that, because I wonder, have we moved so far from the warmth of analog that could it now be seen like someone thinks it's a new mix? Because have they like, is it almost like, yo, we haven't, and obviously I assume these people know what analog sound is, but we've been listening to digital music for so long at this point.
And because it all came out on tape first, this has never been in the warmth of a vinyl track.
And the guy who spit me this is like, he's a music producer. He knows analog, he knows sound, like, you know, and he's like, yo, did you do a new mix? I'm like, no, man, it's just going to vinyl. It's like that. But I think you're right. We're kind of disconnected from these slow things, you know, and I just live in slow things, bro. Painting, music, cooking, you know, think of cooking, right? It's like, I'm gonna braise something for 16 hours and then you're gonna eat it in 2 minutes and then it ends up in the toilet. Like, like it's actually crazy. Like, you know.
My last thing I want to add, like, we can move on to the show. But no, I know, but is that can you explain? Because I was just having this conversation with someone around the B-side and like how important, like the songs that would be on B-sides and like whether it be a different producer, flip, like, and I don't think I don't have examples of that being done digitally, really. I feel like vinyl really was the last time.
Yeah, or tapes. Because we used to get those tape singles.
I guess the tape singles as well. But the concept though of a B-side,
usually
like
you'd get like the single and then the instrumental on the B-side on the tapes. The only thing that makes sense that is like current makes sense like that is where you get like a song and a remix version of it comes out with it. Is like maybe like the B-side. But how do you select the B-side for a real record? Like, I mean,
well for this one, the B-side off of this one was another video that we had done with this group, and it also did really well, and people were vibing on that. So it's like the first time people are able to kind of cop these two classic records, you know. So
they've never been together as an album or anything.
They never been released, bro. I'm telling you, the only way we released them ever was as a music video that went straight to like the MTV in Canada, which is called Much Music, and then handwritten, like literally like clear cassettes with white labels, handwritten, that we sold like $5 to the record store. We sold maybe 100 of those, like, you know, like, but it's never really been released, man. It's the first time ever, so that's kind of cool.
Brian, go buy me like 4 copies, and I'll pay you back tomorrow when they're available.
But I'm a B-sides fiend. Like, I'm the guy who listens to the deep cuts on an album, the B-sides. Those are the records. To me, those are the records where, and I've been in the situation, the record company only care about the A-side, right? Mm. And so they're trying to like manufacture, they're chiming in, you know, this person needs to do this, we need this person, we need this singer, blah, blah, blah. And by the time the record come out, the A-side, that shit is fucked up, right? So, but on the B-sides, they don't care. They're like, yeah, throw whatever on the B-side. And that's where you get the real artist. That's where you hear what the artist is really thinking, what they're really feeling. That's the deep cuts, the album cuts. You know, every time I listen to an album, my favorite cut is always like the Z cut.
That's so real, yo.
That's very Canadian, the Z cut.
Yeah.
So
immediately click.
No, but I'm definitely an album person too. Like, I'm a cover to cover because I grew up in like the tape era where you had to listen all the way through basically. But I just I think if you tell me a band, my favorite song is almost invariably not a single that was like a number one.
Yeah, man.
Like, my favorite Doors song is Peace Frog. This is like the deepest cut song. Nobody outside of New Haven, Connecticut has ever heard this song on the radio. And the only reason it's on in New Haven, Connecticut is because it name checks New Haven, Connecticut. So like this is not a popular song by any means, but it's a great song.
Like, I was just listening to the Fugees, the score the other day.
Yes.
And you people like M to the A to the S to the K, put the mask. Like, it's like, holy shit, that shit is crazy. You know?
Cab is my favorite Fuji song. That's not
it's definitely
nowhere near the top. Right. All right. So when we had you on to talk about the Burn project that you did, we mentioned that we might need to move up there to Canada to escape Trump, which now seems exceedingly more likely. What can you recommend for us Southern North Americans if we come up to Canada?
Well, the rate that things are going, we may be equatorially climate soon. You know what I mean? Everybody think it's going to be winter and stuff like that, but we're going to be tropics and coconuts. Give us a decade or so. So it's coming.
I agree with you.
That is not soothing me.
I'm telling you, up there, the only place that's gonna be safe in this country is gonna be Detroit.
Yeah.
And then from there up, is the only place you can live.
Canada is south from Detroit.
I guess, yeah, okay, yes.
Well, it's close, bro. It's close. It's not Florida. It's not Texas,
Yeah, this might be baked, y'all. This cake might be baked.
You might be walking around Edmonton in shorts.
This cake just might be baked. I don't know.
Speaking of which, how do you feel about your Oilers doing, pretty good?
Yo, thanks for that, man. I grew up in Edmonton, right? So respect that. Yeah, respect. Yo, the Oilers came really close, bro. I was on set in Jamaica shooting this show, and I'm trying to watch the Oilers in between takes. And I couldn't get the feed because there was a storm coming in before the hurricane that was damaging the cell towers and stuff. So I'm trying to watch the final game in the middle of shooting a show in Jamaica with a hurricane coming down the pipe so I missed the thing. My wife is texting me pictures and shit like that, but
I mean, to go to Game 7 and almost bring the cup back to Canada, that's got to be exciting.
And you have to hate the fucking Florida Panthers.
I already hated the fucking Florida Panthers.
These fucking guys are in Florida. It's hot as shit. What the fuck do they know about hockey? Right? That has to burn.
It burned a little bit, bro. I felt that a little bit.
The Bolts have won 2 cups in the last little while that people can remember too. So it's not like Florida doesn't know about hockey, but
I know. Yeah, but even them too, I'd be furious. Like, what the hell is it? Florida in hockey.
Dallas almost could have been the. Yeah, I mean,
all of these places.
How that works.
I know, but it's just still kind of crazy. You're like,
Gretzky won with the Kings.
I know. Oh God, now you're gonna try.
Canada need a win on that, man. Canada need a win on that for real. We're overdue. And the Maple Leafs, I hate to say it, the Maple Leafs is nowhere close.
Yeah, no, you don't have to hate to say that. I think watching Leafs fans be depressed every year is one of my favorite things about hockey.
But they're still like one of the highest grossing teams in sports.
I know. They're so proud of themselves. And they're so not that good.
Look, you're not. It's some.
That shows you the dedication and the loyalty of Canadians.
Yes.
Yes. And I say that about my fandom. It's like you got to stick with it through the times that suck, so that when you win, it feels that much better. And Tez over here,
I'm the opposite. I'm like, you know what? Protect your peace. And if you've been supporting them for so long, and they jump back on and they winning, show back up and be like, yo, shit, what the hell you gonna tell me now? I went ahead. I protected my peace. Y'all not gonna get me emotionally hijacked on. I've been there. I've cursed out people.
Must be nice to have good mental health, but the rest of us are over here.
I can't do it anymore.
All right. So we want to talk about the Roger Mooking experience thing that you're doing in the Amazon show, but we need to take a break. Can you stick around with us through the break so we can talk to you about that stuff?
Of course, my brothers. Of course. Yeah.
All right. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to take a break. When we come back, we're going to ask him about the new Amazon show and about the live experience, which we hope to one day get to experience ourselves. Experience. All right. You're listening to Chip Chat on Beltway Radio and beyond.
Sweeps.
Brenda, think it was Brenda, sleeping with the mailman, return to sender. And her friend is the one with tremendous flair, a devilish grin and a world less care. When I walk into the room, they stop and they say, hey, what's up? You don't know me, but my friend named Belinda. We think you're kinda cute, so let's not pretend. Well, if I do say so, I take your word for it if you too say so. Don't say stop if you too say go. It's a 2-4-1 and it's Tuesday, yo. So we start chatting, blah, blah, blah. Belinda from Cali, Brenda from Manhattan. Never been north and I shoulda knew then. Said they wish they always had Canadian friends. Do I like snow in? What about the weekend? Have I ever been to the spots that they be in? No, yes, if I do say though. I do make noise and I do lay low. I do my thing and I do make dope. I don't stay still and I don't do blow. That's when the mood turn blue. Too bad to be good and too good to be true. Too bad to be good and too good to be true. Too bad to be good and too good to be true. Watch who your friends are too. You think you're C3 and your mans are too. You in car 1 and your man in car 2. Tight like minions if you were cartoons. Then a little hiccup, dust start to kick up. When you need a pickup and it's feeling like a stick up. That's when you look to the left, look to the right, look to the light. Looking kinda dark and they're looking like the night. Looking for a friend and they're looking for a fight. Looking for a scapegoat. Take note, black ball cap, blue jeans and a gray coat. Feet too small and the shoe don't fit. Sheep clothes wolf in a new outfit. Damn, and that was your man's damn too bad to be good and too good to be true. Oh. Too bad to be good and too good to be true. Oh. Too bad to be good and too good to be true. Heading out with your folk on a Friday night like it's Mardi Gras. This is my day, right? Slide in the right back door like a DM. Uber pull up, it's the best European. Pull to the spot so cold but it's hot. Name on the list with the line round the block. You dress so fresh they think you a star. Everybody buying your drinks at the bar. Your girl find a mate, your man find a date. Feeling super picky cause tonight is your day. Right about the time that your odds start to look up. It's falling apart now, it's time for a hookup. Match with a cutie, very firm booty. Hotter in person than a pick in a foodie. But damn, they slept with your best friend too. Too bad to be good and too good to be true. Oh. Too bad to be good and too good to be true. Oh. Too bad to be good and too good to be true.
All right, welcome back to Chip Chat here on Beltway Radio and Beyond. I'm your host, Chip. With me is Tez.
What's popping out?
And that was a track from our guest, Roger Mooking. Hey, Raj.
What's up?
But while we were in the break, I feel like we do need to ask you one question.
Uh-oh.
Tez does not think we should ask you this question, but we're here for controversy.
I know this is I know exactly what you got. Go.
Okay. How has the Drake Kendrick thing been received in Canada?
How has it been? I don't know. I haven't been in Canada very much while this is all going down, to be honest.
Okay, probably safe answer. Good job.
No, it was a true answer. I haven't been around Canada very much. I'm in Jamaica.
Good job. Yeah, we don't want to touch that with a 20-foot pole, but we just figured that we have like a Canadian hip hop superstar with us. Who better to ask?
Yo, here's my thing with this, my brother. The amount of energy we invest in beef, if we put 1/10 of that energy in connecting, my brother, you know how powerful we would be, my dog. Jeez, don't even get me started on that.
If I put that much effort into beef, I better end up with barbecue at the end.
That's good as well too. I think to your point, right? I don't want to discount the piece of it. Like, this has always been in hip hop, okay, right? I ain't discounting that. People have been going back from the beginning, but it's almost like this one feels interestingly different.
Yeah,
and I have my thoughts on it, but I think to your point as well too, we could definitely be focused.
I think most of the rap beefs that I can remember basically were fake and set up by the record companies to sell records. And this one doesn't.
Hey, is this one different than that? Look at the trajectory. Let's take this Drake and Kendrick thing aside, right? Because we know how that can end up, right? Stupidness, right? But let's take this aside. Prior to this moment, hip hop for the first time in the last decade was not at the top of the charts, my brother. So you have a whole industry of people clamoring to regain their space at the top of the charts, right? So what has historically worked really good for hip hop to be able to find their way back to the top of the charts? This beef reignited the industry of hip hop. Don't get it twisted. I'm talking all of the bloggers, the podcasts, the press, the advertisers, the record companies, the streaming numbers, the publishers. Everybody needed a critical tipping point to jump off to reinvigorate hip hop back to the top of the chart. Now that has happened. But why is it that we can't do that with creating a momentum of greatness, of like positivity and connection? Like why is that not the case, my
Funny
brother?
too, because Kendrick with the Butterfly album, like kind of did
Kind of a
that,
butterfly, yeah.
yeah, by himself. And now here he is again doing it's like this is twice now that he's done
I
it.
wonder though. I feel that moment to Pimp a Butterfly, I feel like is obviously it's different.
That was
than
much
what,
more positive.
and it, in the time and what was going on right then, it's just completely like that was trying to speak to something very specific that was happening.
Yes,
but it's weird. I think like in one way, I would say, well, oh wow, people are excited for actual like lyricism but I don't think it's that. I think people are excited for hate. Everybody's it ain't
My
like
brother, stop. Yes, you're not incorrect. The social media pundits and statistics and all these people building these algorithms have quantified. It's not the sex that sells, conflict sells. So this is just a basic tenement. But I go back to this. An entire industry needed a moment to reclaim their position. And the moment that the industry saw a moment to reclaim the position, the entire industry jumped on it. Again, podcasts, media, radio stations, everybody jumped behind this thing because it was a critical mass to be able to try to take, let's say, Taylor Swift out the number one spot, because
right.
This is what happened for the first time in a decade. This shit was not at the top of the charts all of a sudden, right? So you have to look at the politics of it, the industry of it, as well as the creativity of it, right?
Now I'm surprised it's the individual who fell on the sword fell on it. I didn't think it would be him personally. I didn't see that, man.
Seems like an easy target.
I mean, yeah, but it's just I'm whatever people feel about, like, for me, it just seems like, and I've given this criticism to a lot of people as well too. I'm like, y'all flipped on this man, and y'all was talking about it was God's plan a couple years ago,
right? Yeah.
When I remember that winter when he dropped that, whatever, people like, and I don't know if the people who are riding with Kendrick, like I never, like some of the people I've heard of it, I never ever heard him talk about the man.
No.
And I don't know. It's interesting. Less about, I think it speaks again less about them two as artists and more about us as the consumer of this and what we, because to your point, right? It's like the consumer is aren't we the ones that are driving it? We fuel the algorithm.
But you're only driving it because you see it and it's fed down your throat. Right? What about Lupe Fiasco's album? You heard Lupe Fiasco's latest album?
I have not.
No,
hasn't been on
the radio.
That shit is crazy. It just came out not long ago. That shit crazy. But he not talking tomfoolery. So like, it's not getting gassed up and thrown in your face, right? So the more it gets gassed and thrown in your face, the more there's critical mass of the audience saying, yo, did you see that? Did you see that? Did you see that? And then it becomes like this feedback loop of this bullshit, right? Why don't we create a feedback loop of greatness, my brother? Like it's of doing amazing things.
We gotta stop. This is why they want. That's why I don't want to. I told him. I told you. I said I don't want to talk about it.
I was doing a journalistic exercise.
No, it's cool. I'm cool. But yo, let's look at the other perspective of it, my brother.
But it's the air. It's like it's taking up all the air in the room, and it's just kind of like
so much that we didn't know Lupe had a new record.
I mean, Ghostface had a record that went out.
There's so much good music, bro. Like 100,000 songs a day coming out right now, bro. 100,000 songs a day are released.
All right, well, let's talk about what songs might be played at the Roger Mooking Experience, which I guess you've done more of these than just the one that I know about, or maybe I only know about the one where it's a whole immersive thing, right? It has art, it has music, it has a food demo. It's like a whole thing. Can you describe it for the people?
Well, I'll explain it like this, right? My prediction is this. We're going to have a bifurcation of the media marketplace, right? You're going to have AI creating commodity goods, just like how the Gap creates an $8 t-shirt. And you're going to have real artists who have to make the thing for their own survival, who will continue to make things in slow ways or fast ways, however, but they'll create those things And that stuff will not be a commodity product, and it will be based around real emotion, moments, and also experiences. So now I think in the moment of that, we're going to drive around experiences, being in person, face to face. You're already seeing it, like dating apps have already reached critical mass. People are like, yo, I'm going on a face to face. Like this shit is some new. Right.
Crazy.
So
I got stock in Bumble. I'm eating it. I mean,
yeah,
that's
you're eating it. It's all dead, bro. So this is what's happening. We're going back to experiences. So a few years ago, I gambled on experiences, and then you started seeing me do the burn and the reading and all these different art installations. And then I put out the Curious Sounds book that goes with the Sound Bites album. And
Right.
all those things are multi-level, immersive, interactive things that have food, music, literature, visual art, all that stuff. And as I continue to dive further and further into that world, people in like the art gallery world or the advertising world or the music world are like, whoa, what is this world that you're building with all of these different touch points, like all these different creative touch points that I'm creating, right? And so they're like, yo, I want a Rajamuking experience. So then I go in, like I don't do no cookie cutter, right? I work with every team and I custom build experiences for every team. So the stuff I did at the burn or the stuff that I did for Swim Drink Fish with the art installation, that was also like I did the canopies and the signature cocktails for it. I made this custom board that was designed around the art piece that I had up for auction. I did a food performance. There was music. So like all of those touch points are coming in. So whether I do that for Swim Drink Fish or I'm building a few new ones right now, I'm doing one that's going to be launching at the Art Gallery at Hamilton starting in September and running all the way to February next year. I got like 6-month run of this Rajamuking experience, and there's workshops around that and kid tutorials for kids and retreats around that and real experiences built around creative ideas, right? And making those things come to life in a new way. Because my brother, you know the numbers on a Spotify stream. For you to make $1,000 on Spotify, you have to own the master and the publishing, and then get like 2 million streams or some strictness like that, right? So I refuse to play that game. I'm not a slave under this system, bro. I create experiences. You come see that shit live. You could buy the book. You could buy the hats. You could come to my spot here where I do retreats. You could do everything is live, tactile, experiential, and immersive. And you can go stream it on the digital stuff as well, or you could go cop it, digitally, and that's cool. But I'm banking on experience. So every experience is totally different, but they're all immersive and interactive.
So I love this idea. I have also basically stopped. I think my version of this is like, I don't take a lot of photos when I go places. So like
I show when I go to certain things, I try to
leave the phone
and
in the
I try
pocket.
to just take it in.
Yeah.
Yes. I fully
so
agree
like
on that.
we took the girls to see Joan Jett and Alanis Morissette just like a week ago. And
crazy.
It was so cool. And like, my middle one, she's 5.5, knows every word to every Joan Jett song. And like all the people around her, like, this is great. Is this your first concert? She goes, no, I saw Kiss already. I'm in the Kiss army. And I'm like, okay.
Wow.
I'm very proud of my parenting on that. But like, my wife took 1 million photos.
Yeah.
And I took like 4 because I didn't want to like stop singing with my kids. It was an experience.
Yes, experience, brother. This is, and you'll remember that, and they'll remember
Forever.
that more than they'll look at the phone. How many pictures you have on your computer you haven't looked at?
You don't look at them, but you tell your friends.
But back to Roger's piece of things used to be like, and not that I'm out here pining for us going back and canceling. Technology has its place. It's a tool. It's advanced things. But I think photos, right? One, you had to take a decent photo the first time. Like, there's only a certain amount on the roll.
So many
on the
shots
roll,
on
right?
Roll, yeah.
And like even just the whole process, like I can remember my mother like giving me like the photo roll and like go to People's and get it developed.
Yep,
and like
yep.
Okay, but check this out.
Yeah.
This is also a dangerous narrative, right? To say, yo, it used to be like this, and I covet that time because it's like this now. That's the same mentality that like has certain political figures kind of rising to the top of the
As
fore, right?
Byron Donalds
It's
talked
like this
about how
nostalgia for this past time. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about we are in this time, we're living in this moment, and I'm going to give you experiences for this moment. Not like, oh, back in the day that no, it's not about that, dog. That shit is gone, bro.
I
It's
like
the
that you
future.
say that because, yeah, it is about, we do this show live every week and have done
Yeah.
it live every week since 2015. And if Brian didn't make the clips, I probably wouldn't remember half the things that we did on the show by the next week. Like it
That's
is
true.
in the moment and then it's gone.
Yeah.
So are you going to do one of these Roger Mooking experiences in the DC region? And if so, do you need a couple of MCs? Because we know some people who can help you out.
Yeah.
Yo, if you could rustle up some people who are interested in procuring a Rajamuki experience, that'd be really cool. That we could build something around. I would love to. Yo, man, I got no shortage of ideas. It'd be crazy to do something in DC. It's such a hot political climate. We could do something really interesting.
In the local DC arts community, maybe some people in DC government who we could,
Yeah.
get some of that going. So we'll get those contacts working. All right.
Yeah,
So
man.
tell us about this Amazon show. You're breaking bread. Now I've been told bread is pretty soft, doesn't always break evenly. So you have to be careful how you do that. You maybe try fixing it.
Okay, so the whole concept of this breaking bread was there's a few things around this, right? One is I want to disrupt the format of the podcast as well as the traditional dump and stir cooking show, right? So kind of living in the middle space of that, but we're using food as the great connector because I believe food is the greatest connector globally, right? So what we're doing is taking noteworthy figures. We have we did the first episode with Cardinal Official, which is a
Oh, that's
legend.
dope.
Yeah,
Wow.
it's so dope. We have a Grammy Award winning person coming next, and we got a Canopy and Oscar somebody coming after that. So we got this thing lined up lovely. But the whole point is everybody has an emotional food trigger, a positive emotional food trigger. For me, I tell you, I'm standing at the counter. I'm about 4 years old. I'm on a chair. My dad is over my shoulder. There's a bowl of pork farce in front of me, some wonton wrappers. He's showing me how to wrap wontons because I love how to make wontons. And that is emblazoned in my brain, and it's a core food memory for me. So every time I even see wonton, I go right back to that moment, right? So everybody has emotional food trigger like that. So we're using that food trigger as a gateway to cook that dish with them in the kitchen. And over the course of hours, we cook that dish, we're chatting, we get some information, and then we sit down and when we just eat and talk peeps. By the time they've dove into their emotional food trigger, they spent a few hours cooking and hanging out, they see that everything is crispy, and we sit down and talk, the conversation just unravels in a totally different kind of way, man. The comfort level is very, very high. Everybody's safe space. I'm not trying to do no gotcha. I'm not trying to gotcha nobody. I don't care about that shit. A lot of other people can go gotcha, I'm just trying to have a great, really amazing, human, candid conversation that is really drawing from a really raw, emotional place from us together collectively, and we sharing in food and breaking bread. I mean, this is what I'm talking about, my brother. We can either dive in and feed negativity, or we could dive in and feed positivity.
I don't even know what another word for that, but food is the connector, right?
Great
That
connector.
thing. People even so we live in an international city. There's people from all over the world, and when somebody mentions, at least in my experience, that they're from such and such a place, the first thing anybody says is, "Oh, I love insert that country's food."
Yeah.
That's the way we know each other. We don't, or music maybe, but usually it's about food.
Usually food.
Do you know anything about Ethiopia? Not much.
Yeah.
Do you know a lot about Ethiopian food?
Yes.
Absolutely, because it is the staple food of Washington, D.C.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had that conversation literally 2 days ago. Someone who moved to New York and was just like, I can't get good Ethiopian food because again, we just have an influx of they're here, and same for other
DC
cultures.
has Vietnamese and Ethiopian.
Yeah.
That is the things that we have.
Yeah,
I mean, we have other things too, but we have those in spades, and it is fantastic.
Yeah,
and I
yeah.
can't imagine living in a world without them. And when I got mailed to Connecticut for a while, I was like, what the fuck is this? Where's
Yeah.
your pho shops? And they're like, what's pho? I'm like, oh my
Yeah,
God,
what's that?
I hate you people.
You're walking the streets for a banh mi.
Yeah,
and you
yeah.
can't
I
find
was dying for some yellow peas.
It's just like, where is it?
Why does your 7-Eleven not have injera? Like, what is
Yeah, right.
with you?
Yeah, you're right, man. It is the great connector. So, we're using all those things, and the network is broad because, like, I'm in the art world, the music world, the television world, the broadcast world, so the network of people that we have access to. Like I said, some of the people I've been already just spitting and teasing to you there, man. It's crazy, and the momentum and reaction has been incredible.
I bet you could get a couple of radio hosts from DC
God.
on your show too.
Oh,
Yeah, whoop whoop.
Always
You
self-serve.
gotta come up to the spot here. See, this is the spot. This is where we shoot.
We're on a
shoot
plane.
right
We
here.
probably just won't leave as long as we're across the border by November.
It's like I'm not going back.
Please, man, keep open arms for us if you can.
Okay, but real. I hear a lot of people. I got a lot of people I love in America, my brother. Like so many people I've met over the years, amazing people. And I can't tell you how many people in the last 3 months told me, and they said this during the last run. Yo, we got to get out of during COVID time. I got to get out of America. I got to get out of it. But I know actually people who are like actually coming up, flying and looking for properties for real this time. Like several people that I've never thought, like New York. New Yorkers are hardcore New York. I'm never leaving New York. I'm a New Yorker until I die. They're like, yo, what's the property price up there? They're coming up. They're flying up looking at properties, though.
Ryan, I just became a citizen. I can't run yet.
You have someplace to go.
I do have a place to go.
You still have a passport.
I do have
But it's
passport.
interesting. There's just so many people in the last while, man, that really hit me like, yo, for real, I'm coming,
Isn't most of Manitoba like uninhabited? We can all just go hang out there.
But Canada got a lot of land, bro. Canada got a lot of land.
There's a lot of open space.
I say that about America when we talk immigration. I'm like, we got a lot of land, man. Why you trying to keep the people out?
We need
people to come through. There's a lot of land around these parts.
We also need people in the not just the empty land parts. We need workers. Like, did you just see the report? Anyway. Inflation's down. Nobody knows that. It just comes out on the report. Everybody reported that today, right? CNBC, everybody had the thing, with the inflation's down and the CPI is down by 0.1%. I went down the Google, so many pages on Google to find Fox News covering this. They didn't. How is that possible? Because it's just like a straight news story. And then I remembered. Okay. So in case people want to tune into the Breaking Bread, and of course where they want to get the record, can you tell everybody where to get all this stuff? And go slow because some of us are a little fried from dealing with what's going on down here. So we need to know first how we can watch the show, how we can go to one of the experiences, and then if you feel like telling people where to get the record, you can do that too. But maybe they just let me get the record.
Yeah. If you just search Breaking Bread with Roger Mooking, it'll pop up. You just hit it, boom, you could check it. It's amazing. The experiences, you just got to follow along on my socials. Everything is at Roger Mooking. I'm always announcing new ones, and this art gallery thing is coming right away. And so there's a whole bunch of experiences that we're lining up right now, and we're planning stuff out for next year even at this point, because people are all over these experiences thing, man, because everything is one-on-one, right? So really make it really interesting and really memorable,
It sounds amazing. We want to be involved. We can't wait. If something is geographically close enough for us to attend, we will be there in a heartbeat. And and we'll take you up on your offer. I'll text you offline and we can work that out about coming up there maybe forever. And I don't know. Maybe they need people like us. What are we good at?
You better be.
You're good at reading. Tez is really good at reading. Maybe you need help reading. He's pretty good, Canada. You only know.
I do only know one.
They
language.
know two.
They do know two languages.
You got to learn to read in French.
All
right.
No, it's not.
Roger, we know you're a very busy guy, and we
Yes.
cannot thank you enough for being on our show and coming to announce your new record, which, like I said, please go out and get it tomorrow, but please save me a copy in case I'm a little slow getting up in the morning. So, And one more time, where can everybody follow you at whatever?
At Roger Mooking. You see the name on the thing there, just at in front of that, and you're good to go. And everything, rogermooking.com, everything is all the same. Just hit it up, man. Hit it up. Follow along. There's a lot of really incredible shit coming down the pipe.
We cannot wait.
Yes.
All right.
Always illuminating, Roger.
Yes,
Thank you, brother.
you're one of our favorite guests. We cannot wait to have you back. We are gonna go hit our break and then go on to the
Sad
third
shit.
half of the sad shit. I think
Why can't we end the show now?
No.
Let's end the show now.
What are you talking about in the third segment? What's the third segment?
Well, first we have a segment called Stuff We Need to Talk About, which is the debate, the immunity and Chevron deference. You know, this is where we're gonna wallow in our sadness. Then
We can end the show right now, and this be a perfect show. Brian could go home early for once. We could all be like, "Yo, we leave on positivity."
No.
So what's y'all take on the debate? What's y'all take on the debate? I'm interested.
Sad, bad, not
Yo,
good.
Roger, I
You
was
see my shirt? It says
a
shit show supervisor.
That is what we
That's
all
what
are
I
here
feel like
in
right
America.
now.
We are a shit show. Roger, I was in me and my family went back to London, and we went to Gibraltar after that, and I was on a little boat with my daughter. We was dolphin watching, and she strike up a conversation with these kids on there, and they find out that she's American, and it was over from there. The kids looked up, and they asking me, and I'm trying to bang. I'm like, look, here's my British passport. I said, yo, I know my accent is gone.
Yeah.
It never was there. And it was like, and they just joking like, oh, which one are you gonna choose? And they're laughing. They're laughing. And again, laughing. These must be 10 or 11-year-old. And
You
I'm
know
like,
why? Because they're safely on the other side of the
So
Atlantic.
do you feel like both choices are a bad choice, or one is a better choice than the other? What is it?
because I guess I've been in this country. I understand that for better or worse, this shit is a game with real people's lives associated with this shit. And as I look at it, right, and Lord knows that I can have a CVS receipt list for Joe Biden of grievances that I might have, but I can look, and as I put it as well too, it's very scary in this country when the white folks and the rules they created, they look at those and be like, nah, we're going to tear all this shit up.
Right.
And it's kind of, I'm like, all right, if that's where you want to go with this, then everything else, like, I just see a domino effect that ends up happening. And I've experienced 4 years of Donald Trump. I've experienced 4 years of Joe Biden. And yeah, I'll go rock with the last 4 years than I would
Every day of the week.
Yeah, every day of the
See,
week.
one of the things that Americans have a hard time with that like people from countries with parliamentary systems don't have a hard time with is Americans think we're voting for a president. We're not voting for a president. You're voting for a team.
Yeah.
But if you're in Britain or if you're in France or you're in Canada, you're voting for a party. And then you know that that's a group of people that are going to be the thing. So when Keir Starmer becomes PM in Britain, nobody voted for Keir Starmer except the very few people in his actual constituency.
Yeah.
Everybody else voted Labor.
Yeah.
Okay. Nobody voted for Trudeau. They voted for the party, right? It's just not that. And Americans don't really grasp this in a way. And the other problem is that Democrats, Brian and I were talking about this before the show, we're too damn smart for our own good, that we analyze the situation and, fret about it and worry and all these kind of things. And Republicans have this tremendous advantage of being immune to shame and no critical thinking. So if dear leaders...
Hold on. Let's reframe the whole thing. And I'm not saying Democrat or Republican is who's better or whatever. There are some very smart Republicans, my brother, and some very smart Democrats. Let's be realistic and honest about that. There's just madness and hysteria everywhere, right? So you can't just be like, Democrats are smart and Republicans are stupid. Like that's just not actually true.
One party is running on eliminating the Department of Education, and it's not the Democrats.
I didn't say that they were doing a bunch of really awesome stuff, but there's also smart people there.
And to your point there as well too, I need the Republican Party in this country.
I need the Reagan Republican Party.
Because like this. I know that's. I'm not going that far. Crazy. I feel what you're saying. That's
because he wasn't black during the Reagan era. He wasn't black during the Reagan era.
than saying I pine for that time.
Because I know where you're going with that. What you're saying there is I look at that, because I've made that joke to people, is I like the old school racism. The old
I don't need a Republican Party that I'm not sure whether they're in or out of NATO. Because that's a problem.
Because the thing there, I think, as well too, is that I have believed in this country as well too, for better or for worse. If we can deal on votes and people are able, if I can say, all right, what I think, and I can create a compelling message to bring enough people to vote for something, all right, let's talk. But I do feel like this Republican Party doesn't believe in the vote.
Small D democracy.
They
do not believe in small D democracy.
More people have gained the vote in this country, specifically Black folks, specifically women.
Yep.
And that is where this has changed. They're like, oh, nah, we don't like this democracy shit no more. Why the hell these people got choices? And it's not even like we're winning.
I'm an outsider at 30,000 feet from this conversation, right?
That's fair.
And I'm looking and observing it. Everybody is clamoring for power. They all just have different methods of trying to clamor for that power. So it's like, you know, I continue to rail. This is my thing about the Drake and Kendrick thing. The amount of energy we pour into dividing one another is astronomical. If we took 1/10 of that energy and coalescing, the whole shit is, everybody is screwed, bro.
There we go.
100%.
That's the real power, but they're coalescing power around division, and this is how we maintain power. So everybody's fighting for power, bro.
And I argue as well too that as even Americans, I don't think we're as divided as what shows. I think if I could go anywhere in the Midwest and have conversations with people, I've had them with other people where we can come to a consent, and they might again, they might not agree with even me kind of in general, right, of what I stand for.
Yeah, I don't like you in my space.
But I've had conversations, and when you have those one-on-one conversations with people, you realize, oh, like, we ain't that far apart on some people want their family.
It's hard to hate individuals.
Yeah.
It's easy to hate a group.
Yeah, and I feel like I'm not far, like, again, some people's like, I assume most people in this country want to be successful in the sense of being able to put food on their table for their family. And I do believe, I feel like the only thing I can believe in is that the American people, like, at the end of the day, will figure this out. And it might not be in November. I don't know when it might be.
We just don't know when the end of the day is.
I also
you spit the real talk right
this
there.
Is true here. I also think these people, I don't think this country is soft and everybody be clamoring for like revolution here, but people don't want that.
Fight in it.
They're not here. Like the people here don't want, like, they want to go buy stuff. It's a consumer-based society. Yeah, they want to watch TV. Ready. That's what they want. Like, I've seen, like, that's what they want to do here. And that's
comfort and resources, brother. Comfort and resources. Everybody's fighting for power, comfort, and resources, right?
So the climate's going to get us all.
Canada to go hang out with you and your resources.
Drink my damn Guinness.
Thank you.
Yo, check this. Yeah, okay. Go on.
I don't want to go. Back to console us after the election, because we're going to need it for sure. But we appreciate you being on the show, and thank you so much for coming on here to announce your new record, and we are very excited to go get it. So one more time, thank you to Roger Mooking for coming on the show. Give him a big round of applause. Yay! All right, we're going to take a break. When we come back, the sad half of the show. Yeah! It's going to be great. You're listening to
Remember that would have killed your campaign when you said, yeah!
Oh, Howard Dean. All right, you're listening to Chip Chat on Beltway Radio and beyond. Sweeps!
Yeah. Turn up the mic like 2 dB. Yeah, that's good. Now, this record is just a check for skepticism. I reckon the mechanism is exorcism. The method is madness. The goal is the best decision to bless your system, and the rest, that's left for the restless and the young. But the best is yet to come, like the last person on your guest list. Imagine, I do this in my spare time like a spare tire. 1 foot in, 1 foot out, like I wear a wire. First thing first, this is not work. This is love, like a German with a knockwurst. Reliable like clockwork. And if the beat knocks and the heat rocks play knock knock and I'm there, then it's no joke, leacock. Y'all just peacock. peacocks. All show y'all so that if this was France, your name would be come and see or come and sock. Except no one would come and see or come inside. And if you get it, come and sock. I'm smoking rappers like a white owl or a brisket, served up with a biscuit. Take it to task, it's like a tisket. If you didn't catch that, again, you missed it. So it's all about you, huh? Like this is me time. I rap great. It's just my free time. I know you're thinking this kid should really stick to cooking shit. You're looking at it backwards. Actually, my shit's cooking and good looking. Get your lips smack a tic tac. The kid's back. If I'm the shit and you a shit stain.
Systems, the company store, the paradigm of absolute control. And that's why we're just out here doing simple things, pointing out that we're meant to be in nature and be natural. And this is where we find the source that God made to transcend the New World Order. And that's why they want to try to keep us out of it.
I'm angry. I've had enough of these people. They're a bunch of Christian murderers, scum. They're on giant death factories, keeping babies alive. They're selling their body parts. What more do you need to know about these people? I go out and face these scum. They literally crawl out from under rocks. They have green looking skin and they run around screaming, we love Satan, we wanna eat babies. I have them on video. Hillary's in the creepy weird sick stuff, man. She sleeps in the same room with that creepy weird woman whose mother wears a hood over her head. What the hell? That woman number one is ugly. Imagine how bad she smells, man. I'm told her and Obama just stink. Obama and Hillary both smell like sulfur. Literal vampire pot and the goblins are hobbling round coming after us. My spirit gets close to that evil and I feel it go. We're such self-centered crap. We don't even notice hell itself rising up against us. Millions of pointed people of the very worst type, and I'm so pissed. We're gonna stab your daughter at the mall. We're gonna stab your wife, your son. We're gonna stab you with a butcher knife, and then the police chief is gonna say, we love our Somalis, we love our Muslims. Oh, they're so good. Oh, they're so sweet.
All right, welcome back to Chip Chat here on Beltway Radio and beyond. I'm your host, Chip. With me is Tez.
What's popping, y'all?
That's one of our favorite Alex Jones songs.
Yeah. We say favorite. I know. We laugh at this. I always like to acknowledge, yes, that this is the same man who thinks that a bunch of murdered children was a false flag operation.
Yeah.
But those fucking
and he had InfoWars taken away from him now because of that. So, eventually the legal system works.
Yes, bankrupt this man.
Yeah.
Take everything he has.
So now we've come to a part of the show called Stuff We Need to Talk About, which is not stuff that we want to talk about, to be very clear. This is a thing that seems to happen every time we go on break, is that like stuff happens and we don't like it, but we don't have any place to talk about it, because what y'all don't know is that when the cameras turn off and the microphones turn off, we're not allowed to talk to anybody else.
Nope.
Because everybody in our lives is tired of us yelling about this stuff.
I've realized that I tamp it down where I can't. No one. What we've realized really in this country, this place doesn't like anybody. They don't like smart people.
Yes.
So
I'm fine. It's safe for me. But
I try,
Mr. Literate over here and his fucking nerd books.
I be trying to fit in every now and then, sometimes sitting around reading books, you're not fitting in.
You know how much whiskey we had to drink to get down to like normal? That was tough. but we'll do it for
We'll
you.
do it for you.
Okay, so we're going to talk about the debate first,
Okay.
which this once again, Biden counter-programmed us. That happened with the State of the Union.
Yep.
It was on Thursday, right as we were on. Patrick was here. We were watching it on the screen. We had the sound off.
Good.
It looked bad.
All right. Yes, I watched this in its entirety.
We watched it later. It sounded really bad. Now, look, here's a few things. Biden looked really bad. He was clearly overwhelmed by Trump's fire hose of bullshit and lies, including Trump taking credit for a bunch of stuff that Joe Biden did. He's like, I'm the one that lowered insulin prices. And Biden looked at him like, are you fucking serious? And like I mentioned to Brian earlier, one of the things that holds Biden back is that he's too decent. He's too good of a person to respond the way that you know he wants to. Because even in the press conference today, he was like, well, you know, what I thought of this guy is you know what? I shouldn't say that. And then he just stops and he doesn't say the thing because his mother raised him right or something.
Right.
I don't have that problem. So no slant to my mom, of course, she did her best, but
Yeah.
this is tough. So anyway, the response from the Democrats has been terrible. It's terrible. So first is should he step aside? If so, who would replace him? Was it just a bad night? Can he afford another bad night? Was it just an episode? Will this be forgotten?
It will not be forgotten.
Did it change any minds? Joe Walsh told everybody, who's not a Democrat, but Joe Walsh told everybody, he's like, look, it doesn't matter. He could be the worst. He could come out there and absolutely fall down, you know, and trip. It doesn't matter. The alternative is so much worse. Where are we with this? I mean, there's no good alternative. There's no legal way to get to an alternative, or not legal, but there's no like fair way to get to an alternative.
I mean,
delegate primary.
Yeah, there's a few things I guess here. I think his only weakness in the polls is the thing he can't change.
Is that he's old? Yeah.
Like if we think about any
well, and certain things that are true, but people don't believe. The economy is good, right? Wages have risen 4% year to date, while inflation has been 3%. That means that people are making more money than the rate of inflation.
I think why people feel that way is because in any other administration, we hear this from Janet Yellen, we hear this from Jerome Powell. I don't know. I think his age plays into this because I don't hear he's not compelling enough, or he's not being able to get that message.
He's not getting the message,
and that is on the administration,
yes,
right?
And the campaign,
and the campaign, right? Because you have to create a compelling message to be able. And the debate was an area where he should have been able to do. And how do you I can only imagine. We know how the presidency ages people.
Yes.
And again, think about what he starts his presidency with. Like, again, we're in a massive crisis. I some of this here, I always tell them, like, I'm not waving my hand and my flag is like, oh, I'm the biggest Joe Biden fan. But again, this is about the future of the Supreme Court. This is about
democracy as it stands.
But then I start to ask, I mean, some people are very worried about this. And I know like the Democrats' response wasn't necessarily great, but I think it's a valid response for what I watched in its entirety and what people took out of that. A lot of those numbers as well, too, for the debate from what I've seen is I want to say about 48% of people turned it off within like 6 or 7 minutes.
Yeah.
Right. I think there's only been 22% of people who watches in entirety. Masochists over here, me and you.
Yeah.
So
we have to.
Yeah. It's like what the half of the viewers saw was the first like 6 to 10 minutes, and that was very tough. I
mean, he got a lot feistier in the middle of it, especially when they started talking about veterans and when like Trump called his son a loser and stuff like that. Like,
but no one,
but people didn't see that.
They didn't see that.
Another thing that, look, have you ever been in a situation where you're talking to somebody or in a meeting where the other person is just saying the most completely insane things?
Yeah.
There's a point where you're just like, what the fuck? And you just stop being able to articulate any cohesive thought because you're just overwhelmed by the fuck all nonsense of it. And Brian was here. He saw it. He's got thoughts on it, I'm sure. And we'd love to get his point of view. Also, just as a general rule, Democrats, when we're trying to tell each other to calm the fuck down, don't call us bedwetters. That's not a good metaphor. Tell people to chill out. Tell them to get their stuff together. Tell them to take a moment and relax, refocus, things like that. Don't say that they're bedwetters. Don't call them pearl clutchers. Don't just stop with the pejoratives. It's not helpful. All right, fine. Moving on. Go ahead, Brian.
I would like to bring back what Roger said. He mentioned the fact of chaos and hatred sells, not sex, just chaos and hate. And this is what we got in that debate. It was chaos. It is like we've been saying it. I mean, the headline is grumpy old men. That was it. And the unfortunate thing is like, mind you, I'm old enough, not that old, to remember some civil debates.
Brian remembers Nixon Kennedy.
Yes, well, not that far. I remember.
The first televised debate.
Yes, but I do remember Carter Reagan.
Yeah.
So, and Reagan didn't act aggressive. Carter was a very simple man, but basing off how that debate was, it was a civil debate.
Of course.
So, but going, through the years and things like that, things were kind of civil. But when Trump got in there, and especially against Hillary, he just came in as like a bully. And here again, he figures like when he faced Biden the first time, he was trying to use that bullyism again, but not realizing the fact that Biden could bite back. This year again, 4 years later, it's like dealing with Rocky. If you're thinking of that as, but Rocky Balboa, if you remember Rocky 5 that everyone kind of forgets, when he was facing that sort of, guy who was, younger, way younger, even though Trump isn't, but it was just a little aggressive and more feisty. But you're facing an older person, an older fighter. And I think that's how this is. But still, it's like, why are we watching this?
So the chaos part of it is that's what drives ratings, right? Friend of the show, Dylan Ford, he was on, does the history stuff and talks about real estate. We got to get him back. But he posted a video where he was at like a forum for digital creators. And the guy who was sort of running this thing basically told everybody, when you get a comment that is controversial, engage with that, because that drives more views, that drives more attention, because that's what the algorithm is feeding to the people. The debate gave plenty of content for people who want to create that. But I want to really hammer on the point here is that whatever Joe Biden's problem was during that debate, whether he was overwhelmed by Trump's bullshit, whether he was tired, whether he's old, whether he was cranky, whether he'd been on a lot of travel, whether it's the fact that he's a scrappy guy from Scranton who wants to say a lot of cuss words but trying to behave himself because he's a good Catholic boy, all of those things. He's born with a stutter, for God's sakes. All of that. He knows how to run a country. He knows how to manage the office. He knows how to appoint the right kind of people. He knows how to get serious and important legislation through Congress because he was in the Senate for 600 years. He knows how to get shit done. Is he articulate about it? No. Is Trump articulate about anything? Not on your fucking life. But for whatever reason, when Trump is inarticulate and stupid, his people treat that like a virtue. And when Joe Biden is inarticulate or struggles because he's overwhelmed by bullshit, our people turn around and call each other bedwetters.
Because, to the Trump piece on there, he could be saying literally anything, but it is less about what he says and the way he says it. And this country, and what are people
and what he represents,
I
am your attribution. He says, right? Yeah. So if he goes out,
but
there
that's for one set of that's for one set
for his people.
Yes, but then there are other folks that say, "Oh, I want my president to be strong," and people look at him as a strong, which is crazy. But people do see him as strength because he just doesn't give a fuck.
All the people who attacked the Capitol, to a man, are all convicted. Just to be clear about that, the Department of Justice has not lost a single case against a January 6th defendant. Not a single one. So you want to talk about who's a strong man?
Yeah.
These are the people who think they're so fucking powerful. They're all in jail. To a man.
I think I've come around to two things. No matter what, it's clear as day of who needs to be voted for on November and
November
5th. November 5th, and it's the opposite of what Donald Trump. And people could say, "Oh, you're not." Like, there's nothing in the. All right, if you want to go policies for it, like this campaign has just found out about Project 2025. I've been screaming this to people.
We've been talking about
that is for the long.
Also, nothing in there is new.
Nothing's new.
Just a Republican agenda in a book.
But
it's Tory bullshit made into American.
But the things that they want to do and like stripping these.
No, they got a little smarter about it.
Yeah. That some of that stuff is that is new because of the vessel that they would be able to do that.
Yes.
No one else, a Reagan, a Bush would never push through that far.
They never would have gone that far.
Yeah, they would never gone that far.
No, that's true.
I do think at this point, right? That's clear as day, right? But an alternative, I think the only alternative, honestly, is Kamala Harris. I know that the polling around her over her time as vice president necessarily hasn't been strong, but I think a lot of things end up happening.
I would say her last couple of years as vice president have been incredibly strong.
But I think people have this vibe, but around
she's a black woman.
Yeah, that's what it is.
We talk about this on the show all the time that we need black women to save us in this country. Can you imagine if we ran one and we're asking the heaviest lift? If Kamala is on the top of the ticket and she wins, let us never ask a single black woman for another thing for 100 years.
Yeah, exactly.
They have done everything. You deserve a margarita and a break.
Because again, what does that do? That changes this where it is right now. It's a referendum on Biden, right? If you move this and go into it, it goes back to being a referendum on Trump, and there's going to be electricity around that convention. Because I don't think you could run a primary. But you could
make Kamala the nominee. You don't really have to.
You don't have
because they're on the same ticket. And the campaigns are all combined and the money all moves and that's easy. So who's her VP?
I don't know. For me,
you just switch places.
That's crazy. No,
Joey B
you don't do that.
VP
No,
he was a great VP.
Because what he needs to do,
he was all finger guns and smiles.
What he needs to do, obviously, at this point, is take these time to be with his damn family. He's done what he's needed to do to transition us out of what we had.
If Trump wasn't running, Biden would not have run a second term. He would have handed it off to Kamala, which was the whole plan from the very beginning. He was going to be a transitional figure. He said as much as he stood there with Whitmer and Booker and Kamala, and that was it. And I was ready for that. I was like, yo, this guy is ready to be a one-term president. He's going to do the hard stuff that nobody wants to do because it's politically unpopular and makes it difficult to get reelected. That's what we want. He's going to do the right thing to fix the problem. He did all of that. And then if Trump, the problem is Trump runs and Biden's like, well, I'm the only guy that's beat him. I got to run.
That's fair. But I do think, I think there's I think you could run Vice President Harris at the top of the ticket on there. And I think it would add, again, it'd be a jump start, right? Because then right now we kind of know what we got. There ain't you ain't jump starting this. This is it. It's already, the cake has been baked on this. I watched his interview with NATO today. Again, every small thing that maybe really shouldn't be it's done with.
I bet there's a fundraising boost after today.
No.
Nervous Democrats are going to run to their checkbooks.
His biggest fundraiser ever in there. George Clooney actually, wildly enough, matters. It matters. Nancy Pelosi makes this decision, though. I think.
Here's the one thing that a lot of people has almost completely forgotten. Today was supposed to be the sentencing of the hush money trial.
Yeah. Right.
So they pushed
that got postponed
to September. So within 2 months, do you still believe the fact is keep in mind that Trump can still get convicted? Still get sentenced and be taken, go to jail. And and that's how I feel. Is I wish it was today. I really would. I wish that would have been the conversation. But hearing the fact that this is pushed till sooner, I want that date. I'll wait for that date.
So what do you think would happen? Because I don't think people say like, oh, there could be, something could happen between now and then. There could be not just tape. Let's say it's not a tape. Let's say Trump holds a rally tomorrow where for 35 minutes he yells the N-word. Do you think it costs him a single vote?
For Trump, you mean?
Yeah.
I think so. Because,
Do you think there are any Trump voters who after everything that has happened, there's something that can tip them out of the scales and go, no, you know what? That's it. That's the final straw.
I think fundraising. I think he gets more fundraising if he does that.
Yeah.
if he
If he said that for 35, I think they say it's the second highest.
Because let's say this. For him to act like a martyr, saying it's like, I've been framed and all that stuff, and it's like it's a witch hunt, and he's been saying that, but it's like, dude, here are the facts.
It doesn't matter.
But again, true. Like you said, you got those infested cultists right now with, they can't be saved. If you're talking about those people, they're not savable.
I don't think there's any such thing as a moderate Trump voter. I'm telling you that. I've been saying that. I think that when people say, "Oh, well, I'm an independent," it means they're a Trump voter, and but they're lying about it.
No,
they don't want to say. They don't want to say
that's not true. If that is true, he wouldn't have got elected in 2020. There's no way in hell.
He didn't win the popular vote. This is the thing to remember: is Trump voters know that he is a bad man, and they know that supporting him is bad, and they are guilty. They feel guilty about it, which is why they lie. So when the pollsters call them and say, who are you voting for? They go, I'm undecided. That's a Trump voter. If they're undecided, they're voting for Trump. They're lying to you. They've already decided. They just don't want to tell you the truth.
It's not true.
I said this. I don't know if you, for any of those who watch the show, on Beltway Radio Network Monday, I was mentioning on Real Talk Uncensored, there was a caller who voted for Trump in 2020.
He's a black guy who voted for Trump, to be clear.
Yes, to be clear. A Batman, to be honest with you. And he literally said to me, basically said the reason why he voted for Trump was he was a businessman. And
my cousin told me this.
Yeah. So I figured
what's going on? I'm getting upset.
And I literally pointed him out to him.
What the fuck is going on?
Yeah, I literally pointed out to him, it's like, if he's a businessman, and you, quote unquote, this guy's supposed to, he's researched a lot of hidden agendas, craps, and Illuminati and bullshit. But I told him, if you knew he was a businessman, but did you know how good or bad he was? And I was just like, I mentioned, knocked out all of the bad businesses that Trump did. So many. I literally said he killed a city.
3-hour show.
Yes, I told him he killed a city. And you sitting there telling me you voted for him because he's a businessman, and he jokingly says, "Well, I never said he was good." It's like, dude, it doesn't matter. It's pretty obvious. It's like his own aunt told us, like, please do not vote for this man. His own aunt.
Because guess what? There could be a whole different show we can do around black men.
But But the question about the debate, because we do want to let Brian go home eventually.
Yes, and play the kick game.
In the clip game is.
Oh my God! What the? Oh God! Yeah.
All right, let's focus on this. Is that we have maybe a week because the convention's coming.
It has to happen this week.
And it would be really good if it happened while the Republicans were in the middle of their convention, because it would steal all their thunder.
I'm telling you, there's a way that but again, no one who wants to become president, they like the things that make them want to become president and run, it's antithesis to actually what we want them to do.
Acquiescing.
Yeah. It can't. It almost like they don't compute.
That's the thing about Washington that we all respect, right? Is that he didn't have to step aside, but he did step aside, and he set the precedent that held all the way until FDR. And to be honest, FDR only ran because it was the middle of the war.
A lot different,
right? So
and it was not. There was no laws. It's a nice to do. The law is now the law.
Yeah, the law is now the law, but it wouldn't have been necessary, probably. Yeah. Except for Trump. Thank God that was anticipated when we could still pass amendments. But yes, if you want to be not just president, but any level of politician, we asked S. Nasser about this. Yeah. Is there's a level of ego here that you got to be willing to say, to get up every morning and say, I am the solution to whatever the problem is. I live with that kind of ego every day. I get up every morning and think, God, if I was in charge, I could fix this whole country like tomorrow. But I also have enough sense to know that can't be right. And if I was confronted with the situation where everybody is showing me the data, and to Joe Biden's credit today in the press conference, he said, look, if my team came and showed me that there's no chance that I have to win and there is a chance that Kamala has to win, I would drop out and support her. And he said that.
Then maybe, but he don't. But then, what's the data then?
Well, then he said, "Show me the data."
But he doesn't.
And
but
he
thinks
dared the
polls is
Democrats
wrong.
to show somebody. Well, he doesn't.
What other data do? What other data?
He also challenged the polls. He said, "Show me, tell me what your confidence level is in the polls right now," because he's not wrong about that too. Polls are basically way off. I mean, nobody's got this right. 538 is useless.
I think there's again opportunity to create an excitement around the Democratic Party, and
with who is the VP?
I don't like that. You can kind of go ahead. That piece you can figure out. Like the where it becomes excitement is that the Democrats said, "Oh, wait a minute, this is," because almost in a sense what Biden ends up doing, especially if he loses, is he made this as I'm the only one,
right?
And that almost becomes the same. This is also what Donald Trump is.
That's what Stephanopoulos asked him.
It's the same thing. And this plays into us us looking at the executive branch like as not 1/3 of the government, right? Looking at it as the sole power. Because again, I don't look at I look at the executive branch, and why I would vote for Joe Biden again is that with him and a Democratic Congress, they were able to pass legislation.
Legislation that drastically improved the lives of many, many, many
people.
And
even fuck what it's done right now. 50 years from now, some of the things that are in the IRA
are still going
to be going on, and they'll be again.
Project 2025 is as much about dismantling what happened in 1964 as it is about what's happening now.
Yes.
They're still trying to undo LBJ.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that legacy stuff does matter.
They asked him today, and he said it's not about legacy. So, because his legacy could be solidified no matter what.
Legislative legacy.
Oh, yes, yeah.
You know, like they're still trying to undo Social Security. FDR is smiling, with his cigarette holder.
Also, too, and this sounds really crazy to say, I didn't really think that the Trump campaign is actually working this the exact way they should be. You haven't heard from him. You haven't. He's
smartly played golf for a week.
It's very
somebody who knows what they're doing is kind of running that show.
Because I would feel like this would be usually this is his time. He's letting this fester. And what is he gonna do what are they gonna do for the RNC? They gonna bring out some fucking celebrities. I heard Amber Rose is she's the opener of that. Maybe that'll bring her and Kanye back. They can bond over that. There was talks that they might bring 50 Cent out for this as well too. So remember what he deals in. Remember what Donald Trump deals
time.
Oh God.
He goes out there for that.
We know what Trump also deals in celebrity, and that's kind of what I think the RNC is going to be.
Yeah, it's a little surprising because, this is the Napoleon quote, like never, get in the way when your opponent's making a mistake or whatever. So, it's strange that Trump's been able to restrain himself and not
going anti-Project 2025, which I think is half, obviously, the campaign.
Well, that's pretty standard Trump.
But also, too, I wonder now, even though they use 40-60% of heritage in last time. But I think he doesn't
with the Dobbs decision. He did that all the time. He's like, I'm taking credit for it, but also, it's up to the states. I didn't really do it.
But I think the Project 2025 is one of those things where eventually he'll look at that and be like, what do you mean? You guys did this? No,
yeah.
I think that'll fluster.
No, he'll take credit for it, but the heritage people will let him.
Yeah, well, yeah, we'll see. I mean, that should be I also think, even if Joe Biden ends up still being the nominee on there, I think this is going to come down to literally across the battleground states, maybe 50,000 votes. And I across them all,
so if it's Harris and Beyonce, do we have a chance?
That shit is it's kind of good. When you talk about that'll be what do you call it?
Black women.
A change, a change election that turns into that is what it turns into. But without celebrity on that, no matter if you make Kamala Harris the nominee or he gives the delegates to her, like this then becomes, you can then change the whole narrative around this becoming a change election.
Yeah,
It
you
becomes
can,
that. It becomes that immediately.
But it is still
sorry,
that.
Gavin Newsom. Sorry,
But it's all it's but
Gretchen. All I'm sorry, y'all can't be it. It can't be. She can't be circumvented.
it's still that though. Like whether it's Harris or whether it's Biden, like
It's a referendum on
that-
Biden right now. It's
that-
not a change election.
but the
They don't see that.
existential
Yes.
threat of a Trump administration remains. And so, you know, to the people who know any better,
Right.
it doesn't make a difference who's at the top of the ticket. So it's the question of how do we turn out the vote in key states? It doesn't even really matter about the total in the country. How do we drive voter turnout amongst Democratic constituencies in critical states?
Right.
Michigan, Wisconsin, Pennsylvania, Minnesota. These are the places where it's going to matter.
Yeah.
Georgia.
2020, Biden wins the popular vote 4.5%, right? You might need to, and I know why, like, what are you talking about, the popular vote? But the popular vote does play into some of this as well, too.
Yeah, but he wins Georgia by less than 12,000.
Exactly. But you need, the higher the popular vote is for him,
Yeah, the better that translates.
the better
all
that
way
translates to the electoral college on there, because you assume, and really, I think this comes down to Wisconsin. Pennsylvania has to happen for him,
around. Pennsylvania,
right?
Wisconsin, Georgia,
Yeah.
Arizona.
Yeah.
I mean, look, it's all there, and I don't know if we knew, we'd be
We somewhere
chair
else.
of DNC right now. I mean, it is.
I think Trump loses. So people are very about. I think it's going to be razor thin, and I think that's what ends up being the
well,
problem.
we have done several shows about what happens when Trump loses and doesn't accept it. That's a whole nother issue.
Doesn't matter if it was a landslide.
Right. It doesn't matter. They're going to fight it anyway, which we have something about later. But all right, let's talk about Chevron deference. For most of our lives, anyway, the Supreme Court basically has, let's just read it. In the 1980s, the court made a ruling that basically said, in all matters where the court is confused as to what's the best policy
Sorry, excuse me.
on the right way to do things, if there's a federal agency with expertise involved, they should defer to that agency. Like if a logging company says, we should be able to clear cut this forest based on that's what we want to do, and the Forest Service is like, well, you can only cut every third tree or it won't grow back properly, the court should listen to the Forest Service. That was the ruling. That was the rule that they had to defer to the agencies.
Yeah.
Now the court has ruled that the courts get to be the expert and can listen to the agencies if they want, but they can also ignore them entirely. In another case, in that same term, Neil Gorsuch wrote an opinion where throughout the opinion, he mixed up nitrogen oxide, of which there are several types, but they add up to NOx, which is smog, and nitrous oxide, which is laughing gas.
Yeah, that's my
it's the
daughter
thing that
gets.
Dennis uses, yes, when they're going to go drill your teeth. And it's all in the opinion. It's not like the clerks fixed it or anything. It's still there. Okay.
Happened to our court.
So we have consistently seen courts mess up technical details all over the place. It seems like they would want to defer to the experts, of course, but no. Make no mistake, this is a seizure of power by the courts away from the administrative
That they
state.
don't really want.
That they don't really want. Well, that parts of it don't really want.
Yeah.
And it definitely pulls power away from Congress, co-equal branch, of course. Congress now has to write every conceivable detail into the laws that they pass because the agencies will never be able to fill in those details without being challenged in court.
George Santos is writing your right.
Yeah. I mean, you've looked at a job description where the last line is any and all tasks assigned, right? That's the catch-all. And, you know, most legislation basically works the same way or otherwise decided by the agency. And then it's just, you know, it's left up to the agency. So while grabbing power by the pussy, the courts have also ensured that all challenges to regulations and rules will be tied up indefinitely according to their weird schedule and vacancies on the bench. So if you challenge something and nobody's there to hear it, or you got to wait till the next term or whatever, It doesn't happen.
Also, the time that you can do these challenges, right? I can
Basically,
make a business
forever.
I can make a business right now, and then I can make an LLC and then go file a challenge against the court.
You could.
Yeah, I can easily do that. I mean, this is where they're gonna be like, damn, we fucked up, and they're gonna come back. There's gonna be so many challenges.
That's what they want, though.
But I think
because while it's challenged, the rule doesn't get implemented.
What happens if the left starts to blow this up?
So that's the thing, right?
Well, that's where this
you
gets
didn't
changed.
say we couldn't use X, Y, and Z to provide abortions. I don't like the Hyde Amendment. The Hyde Amendment is
crazy.
in everything. It says that the federal government can't spend money on abortions. Well, that's really up to the agencies to interpret how money is fungible and this can't be that and whatever. You know what? I think we better go to court to decide that. I hear the Ninth Circuit is willing to hear just about anything.
And look, because again, what if
judge shopping?
What if you go exactly? So I
find that nice liberal judge in Denver or whatever.
This is
gives you the okay.
This backfires on them, and I think you're gonna have so many of these cases where they have to rule a little bit differently on that. Like this is, I don't know when this happens, but I think within the next 5 years there's a change to this.
Sure would be a shame. Sure would be a shame if it turns out these guys may have overstepped a little bit. Sure would be a shame. Sure would be a shame if Neil Gorsuch wants to put a gazebo on his lawn and the HOA challenges it based on the EPA ruling on ephemeral streams that he also struck down. And they go, well, it turns out that the EPA doesn't get to decide whether there is or is not an ephemeral stream right here. And I think that there is. And as a matter of fact, we need to go to court. And while we're at it, we're going to bulldoze your gazebo, Neil. Would be a shame if that happened. Would be legal, though. Just to be clear, it would be a shame, but it would be legal. Speaking of which, court ruled that the president, any president, has immunity from prosecution for all official acts that he takes. The basic premise here is that as president, his job is to, quote, faithfully execute the laws that Congress passes, which is to say, as he sees fits, and nothing can question that. He's faithfully executing them to the best of his understanding. And I'm saying his for a reason. The ruling spells out that the president retains ultimate control over the Department of Justice, such that if he clearly breaks the law, like he steals, my beer while I'm holding it, right? He can simply order them to stand down and not investigate or prosecute.
It's an official act.
It's an official act. It also ruled that presidents are presumed immune for all official acts, such that after leaving office, a president who clearly broke the law cannot be prosecuted by his successor's DOJ if the way in which he broke the law was by committing an official act. The presumption of immunity, just like the presumption of innocence in this country, now exists, even though that's not in the Constitution. Furthermore, it ruled that the motives behind the commission of an official act that clearly breaks a law cannot be investigated or even entered into evidence. So if the president tells the attorney general to instruct the FBI to kill somebody, and the attorney general goes, why do you want to do that? And he goes, I don't like his face. And then the attorney general orders the FBI and they kill somebody. And then later there's a trial about it. And they go, Mr. Attorney General, why did the president order you to have that guy killed? And he goes, I didn't like his face. Objection, Your Honor. Cannot be entered into evidence. You can't ask for what his motives are behind those official acts. Sotomayor went so far as to highlight that if a president were to use an official act, like say ordering SEAL Team 6 to murder a political opponent, that would be legal. Which brings us to our conversation tonight. What should Joe Biden do with his new powers?
Yeah, look, he getting back to your old thing. He's a decent man. He's never going to use.
He gave a speech essentially saying, "Look, these guys gave me a lot of power, and I'm restraining myself from using it." But I think that was meant to convey, "Hey, I could do this."
Yeah, I mean, you know where this does become a real thing, though. To be honest, in God forbid his lame duck session of that.
That's exactly right.
Yeah, it becomes that becomes very like it could get real. Like it could get real.
So if Joe Biden loses in November, all bets are off. And here's the question that I have: if Joe Biden uses his newfound powers, does that quell all this question about his ability to serve? You know, do we get done with all of this crying about he's old and he can't speak very well? It would be a real shame if the Army Corps of Engineers happened to bulldoze John Roberts' car, but it would be legal if the president ordered him to do that.
I think Amy Coney Barrett's dissent in that of like, and obviously her concurring opinion, excuse me. I think that was interesting because that's going to be what the legal scholars use to try to check this at some point.
Yeah, but there isn't a check.
There is a check
because you can't ask about the motive.
You can't ask about the motive, right? But it's been put back down to the lower courts, right? About to figuring out what these official acts are.
But after the fact.
Yes.
So you can do the thing and be willing to fight it out in court ad infinitum.
I could argue that the president
act can be argued down to the Supreme Court for each single thing that you do.
Yeah, I don't know. Rob, I don't know. Between her and Rob has tried to stress that this doesn't give this blanket immunity. I think in a sense it does. I think in a sense it does. But I do think the act necessarily, when we're talking about the specific president that we're worried about, this shit never mattered anyways. Like, I mean,
right? He was going to do it anyway and wait and see if he got tried.
Yeah, exactly.
He did it.
Yeah,
he already did it.
And it's up to, again, a Jeff Sessions not prosecuting Hillary Clinton or
it's up to Cipollone saying we're all going to resign if you make Jeffrey Clark the AG. But understand this: we will not have that problem
because they have 10,000 people ready to.
They've already got
Republican LinkedIn is popping. They got people vetted ready to.
They're ready. And the first test on there is: are you willing to do anything that Trump tells you to do? And if you answer no, then you're fucking out.
But if you answer yes, hired.
You're hired. Right? You want to be Attorney General? Sure. What's your qualifications? I don't know. It would be a tragedy if a drone struck DJ TJ while he was sitting on a stump pretending to like the outdoors. But
whoa, bro, no.
But it would be legal. It would be legal as long as the president ordered it to happen through the Army. That's an official act. Or the military, not the Army. I'm sorry.
They've
it would be
the
awful.
Executive branch.
It would be awful if for some reason the Bureau of Prisons didn't pay attention while Steve Bannon, who is currently in prison, was shanked by a prisoner that the FBI had paid to do it.
No, yes, correct. These are all. I'm not arguing those.
Legal.
This is legal.
It would be awful. It would be a sad day for this country if for some mysterious reason, Donald John Trump was found dead after having plummeted from the top of the Washington Monument after having been given a tour by the very Secretary of the Interior herself. But it would be legal. Would be awful, but it would be legal. Does Biden have the courage to do what we all know needs to be done?
No.
Can he do it in a measured, ratcheting up method that helps the unelected six slowly come to realize the grave mistake that they have made? Just as their sunroom is crushed by Clarence's RV that was dropped by a low-flying B-52 over their house with an upside-down flag. Would be a terrible shame if the Air Force picked up Clarence's RV, loaded it into a B-52, and buzzed the top of Martha Ann Alito's house and dropped it. But it would be legal and fine because it's an official act.
They've changed what the executive branch is, but you know who I blame on this as well too a little bit?
John Roberts?
John Roberts in a sense, but I can easily look in a weak Congress, right? And been intentionally weakened over the years.
They didn't fight back.
Right. But Congress, being as weak as they are, have allowed this branch of government and the executive and the judiciary to kind of seize this by being so weak.
Well, and by writing vague legislation.
Yeah.
Because they knew the agencies could fill in the details, but now that's gone too.
Yeah. But I mean, and because you expect certain things like Roe, Chevron,
certain
Yes.
things are stare decisis.
We thought.
I thought John Roberts was pretty clear about that when he was testifying back in the W's administration.
No, but I mean,
We
but-
do have an important question to ask.
Yeah.
I mean, look, we are just asking questions. These are just questions. We're not advocating for anything. We are just asking questions. But how should Biden handle this? If he uses his new powers to drastically weaken the Trump campaign by force, death, and imprisonment, will people stop asking him to drop out? We are asking that question. The Supreme Court told him he could. They didn't say you can't use these powers for your own political advancement. They said you can use them for anything you want.
I would say this. I'll say this. I am reminded of course, the classic line, with great power comes great responsibility.
Sure.
Even though the Supreme Court gave Biden now this amount of power that every known, non-American country, would love to have, and which they have abused, and I've been in 2 of them. I don't think he'll do it. I mean, he has, like you said, he has.
Do you think Trump will do it?
Trump will do it
In a heartbeat,
in
right?
a millisecond.
So why are we playing by a set of rules that is self-imposed?
The key question is, who's the we? So you're saying you and I, yeah.
Why are right-thinking people binding ourselves by a set of rules that the bad guys will jettison the second they have the opportunity?
Because these people, they view the fact that, they'll still believe the fact that we're still good enough to not do this.
These people.
Yes. And
is it worth being able to sleep at night or tell yourself that you died with a clean conscience if it means the destruction of the republic?
No.
I would commit several sins and acts of serious moral, I don't know what to call it, but like moral failure.
Mm-hmm.
If it means to save the, if I had the opportunity to push the button and drone strike Trump, I'd do it tomorrow, and I'd sit a lifetime in prison for that.
Crazy.
I would do it tomorrow.
You're crazy.
But the thing
I wouldn't wait till tomorrow.
But the thing is, let's put it.
Would you not?
Yeah,
I would not.
But let's put it in this aspect. Like I said, I've been in 2 countries where the president of that country pretty much dictated how everything was.
Right.
And they took out political people and their political opponents and all that stuff. And it just felt like you can kind of tell where the country is. What the Supreme Court did pretty much is like they've been living in a bubble. It is like they do not go out anywhere. To the simple fact, what I'm saying is they do not understand what what a third world country looks like. They just don't. I've lived in it, and they're gonna and you pretty much see you give the whole patriarch buildup for it to happen like that. And I think as Biden, he could do it, like you said, he could do it in a heartbeat. If you were president or I were president, I was like, hey, Order 66, as everyone's been quote unquote joking on Twitter about.
Lord.
So, but the thing is here, I mean, I feels like you need that one. You need some strong-minded, moral people to say, hey, as much as you gave me this a lot of power, I'm not doing it. And the moment,
I applaud that, and I believe we need that.
And the only Supreme Court justice and he got flack for that, I want to say, is Kennedy, who looked at outside countries on there and things like that. And there was a lot of flack when he did that. I forgot the specific. There's an opinion he wrote where he had looked at, and there was a lot of flack from him doing that. But no other, they don't move, they don't operate like that. They don't really.
If I was given that level of immunity and power, I would do the thing that needs to be done, and then I would impose the punishment on myself, and I would say we're never going to do this again. But this had to happen to put the situation right.
Power doesn't work like that. Them punishing themselves.
Yeah, but it doesn't work. But look, the unelected 6 have made a bed that they can't get. Okay, 3 of them didn't support this.
This is fine.
There are 6 people who made this decision to allow this kind of behavior to happen, and until they feel the personal consequences of this decision, they will probably never regret it. They didn't go home and tell Martha Ann that they go, well, this is what it's written, even though I don't agree with it. I had to follow the contextualism, blah, blah, blah. Bullshit. Bullshit. Let them feel the pain of the thing that they have caused. If you light the fire and then touch the fire and complain that it is hot, that is on you.
That will happen. I mean, if everything plays out the way that they're doing this, that will happen regardless, because their branch of government will no longer, like,
they won't care.
I mean, yeah, we'll see.
They won't care. Their white supremacist Christo-ethno state will be secure and they will be fine until they're not, and they get hauled off to the camps for looking the wrong way at somebody or whatever. But by then it'll be too late.
When they want to use their power, and the executive branch is like,
goes,
no.
You in what army?
Yeah.
But so look, there is an opportunity here to
they put it in the voters' hands, obviously, because right now, and it's kind of tricky because of the voter suppression and all that. But the voters
so
now,
that's yet another reason you have to vote for Joe Biden, just for the decency of the not to abuse this newfound power.
But not even now for Joe Biden.
For the rest of forever, you have to be careful not to vote for somebody who you think could just get angry one day and fucking nuke Ohio. Imagine if I was president.
Right. Hey.
Imagine if I was president and given this power. What's the first thing I would do? I would nuke Columbus tomorrow.
Crazy. This shows what is going on. No,
you know,
it's a lot of violence tonight.
You get what I'm saying?
But no, I get
this is not a safe thing. And I don't think that Roberts and Gorsuch and Beer Can Brett and all these guys, I don't think they really understand what they've done until they feel it. And I believe that they'll have to feel it.
Eventually.
So there's time.
They've changed the executive branch.
Biden should use it. He should use it to execute judgment upon those who judged him. He should use it to execute judgment on the judges themselves and force them to reckon with their decision. Force them. Smash their cars, smash their houses, take away their children, imprison their friends, do anything that he wants to until they go, you know what? We're calling a special session of the court. We're going to undo that one. That was a mistake. They can do that.
Could he have, what's the name? Could he, as an official act, remove someone from the bench?
Hey, why not? He could just throw them in prison, trump up some charges, tell the DOJ to investigate him. They can't ask why he's investigating him. He could tell them that there's a prosecution. He could fix the jury. He could threaten the jury into doing it, right? Because if the jury convicts and they were threatened to do it through an official act by the FBI or by the president or whatever, nobody can ask the questions of it. He could do that. He could convict John Roberts, Neil Gorsuch, Beer Can Brett, Salmon Alito, Clarence Thomas, neighbor Clarence, all of them, Amy Coney Barrett. He could put all of them in prison on a speeding ticket tomorrow because he has immunity, and let him sweat it out. Let him eat that beefaroni for a little while. Let him make a decision about which bunk, the top or the bottom, they want to be on until they decide, I think we fucked up. Special session.
Not happening.
He doesn't have the courage, but if he did, nobody would be asking whether he's fit to serve. All right, France and Britain, it's good.
It's interesting. I think the French one is more surprising. I think that one is more surprising.
I'm impressed. I think people who watch or listen to the show know my opinion of the French. The French. Hashtag the. Rarely have I said anything complimentary about France or the people who live there. But I'm about to say, good on you, France. Way to go.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting they were like, okay, Le Pen, right? We can't have her and her party. It got too close.
It got a little too close. They touched the fire and then
whoa. And then but then it's interesting.
Except their French, they went, oh.
But it's interesting for Macron because he kind
of won the gamble.
He won the gamble in a weird way, but with a left that he looks at also as an extreme.
Yeah, because he's sort of like a center-right guy.
Yeah. So it's kind of one of those things where it's interesting where this fell, where it was like, all right, because like, right, only way you get this is right with their Communist Party, right? If you get like, that's the only
The
way
Greens
you
and the far
green
left,
all
yeah.
them together. And interesting gamble by the French, but we know like when the French don't like something, they like,
They mean it.
they mean that
Yeah.
shit.
Euro Disney.
Yeah,
They hate that.
they're not messing around.
And Britain?
That one, I look. 14 years is a long time, and
Tory bullshit is Tory bullshit.
they've been fucking up for 14 years.
They Brexit.
They made a bad bet. That's a bad bet.
We kind of called that.
Yeah.
Right? When Brexit happened, we called that on the show. They're like, they're going to regret this.
Yeah, because again, like
It's a stupid self-inflicted wound.
yeah, and also too, like the whole idea of the European Union also kind of like they were never excited about it. I would say I wouldn't say England's ever been excited
No, they
about
kept
it, but
the pound sterling and all that.
yeah,
shit.
yeah,
but they got all the benefits
they
of
got
it.
all the benefits of it. And no one knew what they were voting for anyway with that referendum. Like the country didn't really know. There's a lot of disinformation around
Nigel
that.
Farage
Yeah,
now has a seat in parliament.
he
though.
does that, and that I think also too. When we call the British left right now, they also have changed the way that they
Yeah,
present
they're
themselves.
very centrist.
They are. It's not the same.
No.
It's not the same. And then also too, so you also got to be careful with the left in Britain because then they start saying anti-Semitic shit sometimes and all. Like you got to be kind of careful.
Or
with,
they
like,
turn into Tony Blair.
they turn into Tony Blair.
That
as
was
well.
New Labour,
New
remember?
Labour. That was New Labour. I think that one there isn't surprising because what the British people always thought what the Tories sold them coming out of the financial crisis was, hey, we'll fix this here.
And then
You strip you put austerity measures in there that a country that comes out of World War II and only knows the state supporting them.
Right.
Even with Thatcher, even then, like she tried, but the state was still.
I mean, they lived through that with the rationing and all that
Yeah.
stuff from the 50s on.
Yeah, exactly. So it's kind of like, yo, and then you go and you dismantle and butcher what's the most important thing to that
NHS.
the NHS, and you also butcher the economy at the same time. You can't keep doing that. Like, and even then, and especially when if I am a person who's like, yo, I don't like this, but I'm very afraid of the labor, the true labor left. They've presented themselves as, hey, we're not that type of left anymore. No, we're not going to hit you with taxes.
We're just want the trains to run on time.
Yeah, exactly. And this is giving them something that people can actually be like, oh, I think they're Tory voters. They can say, oh, I could vote for them, especially after the last 14. But yeah, I think France I was very afraid. I mean, also too.
I was terrified after the first round.
Yeah, because the far right.
I was like, oh shit.
The far right movement in France, let there be with the far right movement in Germany.
It's the Vichy France.
It happens quick, man.
Yeah,
it happens real quick.
The French.
The problem is and you know who they put in camps this time now. All these people coming across the Mediterranean. Yeah, that's what's gonna happen.
Yeah, yeah.
And then they'll go back to old tricks very soon.
They'll
After
go back
that.
to their own.
Trust me, yes. You're afraid of that.
So we can take a little solace in the fact that the far right got beaten back in two big Western democracies.
Does that bode well for maybe
they're a little ahead of us?
Maybe they're ahead of us.
I mean, the Brexit happened the same time Trump got elected. Like they're these things do sort of move in waves. Maybe we were the vanguard in repudiating Trump and putting Biden in, and now Britain and France are trailing behind us, in which case they're not leading indicators or trailing indicators.
Yeah.
It's hard to know.
Yeah.
But there's solace, and we can look to Starmer the way that we look to Merkel during the first Trump administration. Should there be a second one, we know that there's somebody who can pilot the ship of the world order while we are incommunicado for that little period of time.
Yeah, if it
gets to that, and should we ever emerge again? But yeah,
I mean it's strong. I mean, those are
it
positive.
leaves me in a weird position of saying something positive about the French, and I'm willing to admit
the same country who makes this even a nation. Like it helps that the French.
But that wasn't the same French.
Oh, I guess that's fair.
That was King French fighting King England.
Yeah, it's different.
I don't like the ones where they're all like, it's called croissant. And I'm like, shut the fuck up and give me a fucking sandwich. You know, like, do you speak German? And they go, no. And I go, you're welcome. And they go, eh. And I'm like, ha. That's what I don't like. All right. Here's what we should do, because we want to play.
Are we gonna play? Can we play the clip game, or is this getting moved to next week?
You want to do the clip game?
I think so.
Yes.
All right. Okay.
All right.
Let's do it.
So we're gonna take a very quick break. When we come back, we're gonna play the clip game. We'll skip the bit about Republicans trying to fuck around with elections, because you know what else?
We've already talked about that. Actually,
yeah, we've already done that. All right. So we're gonna do the clip game for the third half of the show. You're listening to Chip Chat on Beltway Radio and beyond.
Sweeps.
Stuck on stupid on stuck on stupid on stuck on stupid on stuck on stupid on stupid on stupid on stupid on stupid on stupid on stuck on stupid 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 on. Hey, Mr. Humanoid over here thinking I lied for a sec. I guess the worst you can do is you might get upset, so here we go. When did everybody get to go nuts so? I thought the whole goal was to get not so, like a Nazi. Not so, right on the right side of history, I guess you could wish for a bright side. But that would be stupid, like making the same mistakes. Like killing brain cells just to save some space. Stupid. Stupid on stupid on stupid on stupid on stupid on stupid on stuck on stupid 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 on stupid. They say that stupid is as stupid does. What does that mean? If you do something stupid, then stupid you is getting a buzz or having a bad week. Time to recharge the battery, which usually means more stupid decisions. But great stories, great time, and great fun. New traditions, more bad decisions. Better stop before you see the prison, stupid. If you lucky, maybe Cupid pay you a visit and you could be stupid in love, stupid. Stuck on stupid on stupid on stupid on stupid on stupid on stupid on stuck on stupid 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 on stupid.
Welcome back to Chip Chat here on Beltway Radio and beyond. I'm your host, Chip. With me is Tez.
What's popping up?
All right, so now we were on our summer break.
Yes.
Brief as it was. We sent you across the ocean.
Yeah. Some was brief.
But you came back.
I did come
for
back
some reason.
Yeah.
I'm a little surprised about that.
At least I tried dipped out. I thought I dipped out at the right time and came back at the wrong time.
Yeah, it's all right. You were there for the Euros.
I was. I
Briefly.
didn't get a chance. I don't think I went to one pub to sit down and watch the
Ah,
Euros.
you
Terrible.
did it wrong.
I did do it wrong.
All right. So usually when we get to either the end of a season or come back from a season, we like to play a game called what we call the clip game.
Yes.
So one of the things that happens on this show is that every week after we do the show, Brian, our esteemed producer, cuts up the show into a bunch of little clips, and then we post those across social media, and people, talk about them or whatever. But each of those little clips has a file name, and Brian writes the file names. And what the rest of you don't get to see is these very clever file names.
Right.
I, as the one who processes these and posts them, gets to see them. Tez could see them if he wanted to, but that would be a lot more work than he's willing to do for the show. Yeah. So I'm the only one who's ever seen the names of these. But fortunately for me and everybody else, my memory of this kind of stuff sucks. And so I don't remember the names of all of the clips. But often as I'm posting them, I'm giggling at the name. So this is everybody else's opportunity to share in this little behind the scenes funny part of our radio lives. So the way that this works is Brian is going to play us the clip, and then we are going to try to guess the name that he gave the clip in the file name. And if we're usually he's pretty generous.
Yeah, because we never get it.
We're never going to be like dead on. But if we're somewhat close, he tends to give us the points, and then Brian keeps the score. So did I mostly get it right, Brian?
Pretty much.
All right, lay it on us. Let's see how we do.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the clip game. And pretty much Chip has mentioned the fact of how this game is. Now, the last time we did this, we had 5 categories because one of those categories was very special. It was all about balls. So,
yes. Street balls.
Yes. So this time around, pretty much we're bringing back 4 out of the 5. So again, the categories are the return of the Batty Politicos. So we know how they are. We had guest right. That means that some of the guests that we had that'll be featured. Host up, meaning pretty much you guys talking about whatever you're talking about.
DJing to ourselves.
Yes, pretty much. And mixed bag, and that's pretty much about, whatever pops in your mind. So,
okay.
All right. I am guessing a number between 1 and 10. The closest who gets it will be starting first. So
6.
7.
Tez goes first.
Fucking Price is Right. Such bullshit. Okay.
So which category would you like?
Batty Politico. 400.
You got to say it right.
No.
Batty Politicos.
I ain't going to say it the way I said it. Say it the way I said it.
You do not want to get in trouble. So
right.
All right. So stand by to get your first Batty Politico thing once it comes up. If it acts right. Sorry, folks.
George Santos.
Gotta love these.
He fits your version of it.
Right, that's your version.
But you're the one that says it. You're West Indian.
Right.
Brian broke
Someone broke my game.
Well,
these
I
are
told you it was next week.
Yeah.
Trying to get you out of it.
Well, thanks for coming by.
Someone broke my game. Hold on a second, folks. Please stand by.
Please stand by. Will the real Slim Shady please stand up? Don't look.
Oh.
What
the hell happened?
He has all the playlists. It's wrecked it.
Yeah, someone wrecked it.
Brian, you don't want to show everybody.
I know. Let me fix this like that.
All right.
Let me hold on a second, folks. Let me go back.
We could cheat otherwise. That would be unethical.
Yeah.
No.
Much like bulldozing John Roberts' cars. I'm not saying Joe Biden should. I'm just saying he could.
What if?
What if?
The what ifs.
What's the Tucker thing? I'm just asking questions.
I'm just asking.
Yeah. Not suggesting it. Also, I like that apparently Biden watches Morning Joe as much as I do.
He definitely does. Hates the New York Times as much as Donald Trump.
Now he does.
Yeah, now he does, right?
Right up until a couple weeks ago, he was like, "Oh,
no." All right, we got it now. It's this system.
Okay.
All right, so
Let's look at the batty Politico.
All right, there we go. All right, here we go. Stand by for the first batty political question. Stand by.
It's called unmute.
Yeah.
There's everybody on their Zoom.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Every person.
Unmute.
I know. Hold on a second. I gotta.
Dan, you're muted.
I know.
How many times is
Hold on a
that?
second.
No, Jeffrey Tubin,
I'll
no.
put that up first, and then I'll do it. All right, go. All right, we got it. I gotta see what happens when we do things on
That's live
StreamYard.
radio,
Hey,
baby.
love it. Look.
Yes. So we gotta do everything slowly but surely. All right.
It's all right.
All right, here we go.
Here we go.
Stand by.
I am.
We're standing by.
Locked and ready.
Still
Stand
standing
back
by.
and stand by.
Aim and
Very clear where that's going to factor in the space lasers. Okay. So Mark Robinson is kind of famous because he has said a litany of insanely offensive shit.
He has a very interesting track record of saying some wild shit. Yeah.
This dude makes Alex Jones look like a librarian. It's shocking.
Yeah.
Okay, so do you want to start with list number? You want
Sure.
to take number one?
Okay, got you.
Yeah.
There was a time when he called school shooting survivors media prostitutes for advocating for gun control policies. That's
Yes.
number one.
Yeah. He thinks that the
Media
kids
prostitutes.
who survived
I've never
school
heard
shootings.
of that shit. Hey, yo,
Prostitutes.
as a poet, that's pretty ingenious.
Yeah,
it is. It is.
A good little bit of word.
Prostitutes.
Yeah, you know, it's a word you definitely want to clean out of your mouth.
okay. So Tez, what was the name of this clip?
There's so many options.
Wild shit and prostitutes.
Survey says
I think it has something to do with cleaning out your mouth, but I don't know what. Because that's the way he ended it. Yeah. So it's something about like wash your mouth out with soap or something like that.
close, but no.
Damn it.
And the answer is you need some Listerine for that word.
Oh, that's kind of close.
That
I'm in
was
the
that.
right, I'm in the right
ballpark. Getting that, and I'm thinking about Listerine.
but that's funny.
That is funny. It's really good.
All
Very
right.
funny.
Chip, which category would you like?
I'll take the mixed bag.
Mixed bag.
Yeah.
All right. So,
The only category I remember.
all right. Here's mixed bag. When I find a mixed bag, hopefully this thing will work for me. Playlist. So, yes, folks, these playlists go through.
Don't put the internet is brought true little d democracy to every aspect of the world. You can easily get your hands on anything.
Well, let me read it.
Oh, what? No.
Let
just-
me rewind it. Hold on.
I was enjoying listening to my own voice.
Oh, you were.
Shocking.
So shocking.
So shocking.
The internet is brought true little d democracy to every aspect of the world. You can easily get your hands on anything you want.
Yeah.
It's relatively inexpensive. Thank you, child labor.
Yeah.
And it's relatively easy to control because the AI does most of the flying. So like all the barriers to entry in war are removed.
And don't give humans that.
You want to get into a war?
Yeah.
It's
Make
a
it easy.
click, 2-day shipping, Prime, boom, bang, and there goes
Yeah.
your enemy. I mean, I use Amazon as a weapon. I prime things to people as jokes.
This was wild. Wow.
Yeah, it's really fun. My sister-in-law used to be married to this guy.
Okay.
He was a dick.
Oh, this
Is
guy.
a dick.
This guy.
Yeah.
Oh.
Is an Eagles fan. Just that tells you everything. So at one point, there was some bit where they had moved to a faraway place, and his mother was like, hey, I wanted to send them these hangers, coat hangers, but the shipping is exorbitant. That was her word. And so she said, can we ship them to your house and you can put them in your suitcase when you go to visit them? No, you cannot. So she went out to go visit him in this far off land.
Yeah.
And I knew when she was doing it. So I primed a set of coat hangers to arrive at the same place while she was there visiting for like a week to prove how
Fast. Yeah.
easily this is doable.
Yeah.
And the shipping was exorbitant. It was $3 extra. And like, it was really funny for me because they arrived and she figured out what happened almost instantly. And I got an angry phone call, and I had such a good time with this. And it taught me a valuable lesson. If you ever want somebody to have to deal with a miserable situation, prime them something they don't want. They're not expecting it. They open the box and they're like, oh shit, what am I going to do with this?
Make it worse is what you're saying.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
It's great.
Whether we that's the mixed bag, right?
Yeah.
All right. The internet.
All right. So that is
This.
yeah.
This
So what do
is
you pick?
called prime weapons or something about prime and weapons. He's thinking. Did I get
Judge?
it? I don't know. You're the judge.
We'll give it to
something
you.
right.
It is technically officially Amazon Prime Warfare.
Oh, it's pretty close.
So pretty close. So
I got it right.
Yes,
All right,
so-
good.
All right, Sip, you control the board. So what do you want to do?
Let's get the guest one.
Guess one. Okay.
Yeah.
All righty. Let me back up to this.
So remind me that we have guests on this show.
Yes. Yes, we have.
Did you know we have guests on this show?
Just tonight.
We did.
So yes, so guessed right. That is the actual category. So let's see here.
Let's see.
Stand by.
Let's see how right I am. I got one already. Feel great about that. It's probably my only one I'm going to get.
I get none. You won.
Yeah, well, yeah.
One.
Yeah. In rock and roll
Mhm.
and in hip hop, you often find these supergroups. We've got.
All right, stand by.
Uh-oh. Is this 7 minutes and 12 seconds long? That's good.
Nah.
Everyone says that.
Okay. I was like, oh, Lord.
All right, here we go. We're gonna play.
You know,
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
rock and roll
Mhm.
and in hip hop, you often find these supergroups. We've got people who are individually successful.
Yes.
And together, they're like the Avengers.
Mm-hmm. I like that.
So
I
are
like
you the poetry Avengers of DC?
that. Right? And which one are you?
Yeah. Which Avenger are you? And you can't be Scarlett Johansson because apparently she's taken.
Oh yeah.
You know, to call me the poetry Avenger of DC is crazy. Oh, I hope so many people do not listen to the show. But
Well,
yes.
we want to include them because the MCU continues to expand. The poetry Avengers
It
continues to
will
expand.
swallow
right,
you up. It will,
right,
yeah.
exactly. I would say I'm more Iron Man.
You're Iron Man,
Yeah.
okay? So you're the sort of de facto second leader, semi-leader, sometimes leader. How are you
kind of,
Iron Man?
yeah.
Well,
yeah, 'cause-
I'm sorry. I'm
Well,
gonna,
you
I'm
can
gonna
go
jump
ahead.
in and say that Iron Man was the playboy.
Yeah.
Iron Man was the playboy, but he had a heart of gold, and eventually he died. You know,
That's
to-
true.
To save
he made a
everybody.
sacrifice.
He
He
sacrificed
made a
himself
sacrifice.
to
So
save
who's Captain America? In your group?
Who would be Captain America? Artist would definitely be Captain
I was gonna
America.
say that's
yeah.
gotta be the artist
Yeah.
is definitely like the leader of the whole.
Yeah,
contingent.
clean cut, like
Yeah.
Does the
Everybody-
thing,
yeah.
Has
fits
the most to
profile,
say. He's gonna say, "Hey, let's all get in there and jump in and
books
Right.
the gigs, does all the work.
assemble."
Okay. Are you gonna work the general? This is called
Yes.
Nobody Watches This Show.
Wait, that's your answer?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Tez, what do you think?
Poet Avengers Assemble.
Oh my God! Right on the button.
No way.
Yes, he did. Well, technically, it's Avengers Poets Assemble. Yeah.
Yo! Hey! Hey! All right. Hey! Now we got a game on our hands here.
All right, Tez, what's your next category?
What? Give me the categories again, Alex.
All right, so again we have
He's dead.
Daddy Politicos. We just had
Guess
Guess Right. We have Host Up, and we had just before that we
Mixed
had
Bag.
Mixed Bag.
Host up.
Oh,
400.
Host Up.
I'll take the rapist.
Oh, God.
Christ.
That's therapists, Mr. Connery.
All right.
Who's the same man as he say that?
There is this
All right, here we go.
It's
He also said-
SNL.
Oh, it's SNL
Yeah.
one. I mean, look, he did say someone's got to slap a woman. So
Well, you
that shit
know.
was crazy. I was
Hey, Bond got stuff done, man.
Yeah,
Don't
he
be
did.
mad at him. There is this guy called
Yeah.
Robert Fico. He is currently he was just won the prime minister or his party won the control of government parliamentary system
I
in
remember this.
Slovakia. So he is the incoming or he is the now prime minister. He has been prime minister of Slovakia several times. He started out as a Communist Party member.
Of course.
He's Slovakia. Basically, no Slovak is like
He's booked,
meh
so he would
about
be
it.
last.
You either love this guy or you hate this guy.
Right.
So they've got an arrest. I think that the guy they arrested is 71 years old.
Sheesh.
Yeah, and
Yo, if you're-
he's apparently was really pissed off at this guy, and they say he acted alone. He got 5 shots off. Fico is in recovery in the hospital. They spent basically all day and night doing surgery on him, and he's in stable bad condition, but he's conscious. So the big worry right now in Slovakia, which everybody needs to remember, is a European democracy, member of NATO, member of EU,
Yeah.
is like a real country, used to be part of a bigger
It's a
country.
bigger country, yeah.
If you're my age or older, you're still not good with there being Czech Republic and Slovakia.
right.
You're thinking Czechoslovakia,
Yeah.
but they've been 2 separate countries now for 30 years. So
Which is insane.
yeah, it's crazy, right? Why don't people just go back to how they were? Turn to the frogs game. Remember how Matt Gates adopted?
All right, so what is this one?
Shit, there's a lot. God.
I think I know what I would call it, but I'm wrong.
What's the guy's name again? Fico?
Fico, yeah. There's a lot of thinking going
There's
on.
a lot that was happening there. I'm trying to think
was a
on
lot.
there.
Yeah.
Dead ass frogs.
Okay. That's
Wrong.
Chip?
they're turning the Fico's gay.
Close, but no.
Ah!
The answer is back to gay checks.
Oh.
All right, Tess, you still hold the board.
I still hold the board. We're gonna go guessed up.
Oh, guessed up. Another guessed up. All right. Or guessed right, actually.
Guessed right.
Guessed right.
Host up.
Host up, guess right. Guess
look,
right, host up.
Yeah.
Host up right, guess.
Mhm.
Set a pick. Are you going to work the general?
Yes, I am. You bet.
Okay. So the question there is, do you think? Uh-oh.
Oops, let me fix that. Sorry.
No, I was enjoying it.
Let's see. Make sure this is the right one. Yep, that's the right one.
It's a little harder on the. Are you going to work the general?
Yes, I am. You bet.
So the question there is, do you think that there is a danger of the election deniers volunteering for these jobs and kind of mucking up the whole process?
I mean, around here, I don't think so. I mean, here's the thing. Like, people are able to view. Anyone could come and view the counting process. People were taking pictures of me. There was a woman who asked exactly what I was doing, and I explained what we were doing to reconcile, and I gave a very thorough explanation as to what we were doing. She said, thank you. That was a very good answer. I mean, I had news crews behind me. I was even told there was a crew there from Russia. And I wish I'd known that because I'm Ukrainian, and I literally have "Go fuck yourself" tattooed on the back of my leg in Ukrainian Cyrillic. And I would have loved to have rolling up my pant leg. Would have been great. But I mean, it was something. Sorry, getting over the flu, and I'm a bit tired.
No, it's okay. If Tucker Carlson wants to interview you, would you do it?
I would, because I could tear him. Let's just say I could make him the goatsy man with my words.
Wow.
All right, what is that one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Count me in, count me out.
Okay.
Chip.
Goatsy Carlson. Ow.
Nope. The answer is General Parole Directorate.
Oh, that's funny. That's really good. That's really good. Obviously, that's what you made it.
Yes.
There's a poll in it.
The poll.
Yes,
Right.
yes. All right, Tez, you still control.
Brian
it.
loves the poll.
And Bober on it. So.
Okay. Let you know. God, now I forgot what was the other one?
Batty Politico.
Batty Politicos.
All right,
Yeah.
Back to the baddies. All right. Batty Politicos.
Yeah. It's batty. Like bats on the brain.
Batty.
Yeah. Yeah.
Even that's
There's
Oh,
so
it's-
much
it's
going
all
on.
close.
The way he's saying it.
Yeah.
Like,
like when people respond KK. You're always
no,
one step away.
No, yeah, don't do that. Just
And,
the 1K. There's so much going on that we don't even have time to talk. We're gonna be off next week.
That's really helpful because I was gonna put in my PTO. I go into a wedding on Thursday.
We're off next week
Somehow it just works out
for
Okay.
Leap Day, which means we don't have time to tell you that the government is going to shut down the day after we're off
Yeah,
because there's no bill and there's only 3 days, working days for the House to get that together and none for the
when
Senate.
it's cold out.
Trouble. So, you know,
It's cold.
Right.
plans are which
That's a
costs
week.
some like the amount of productivity in dollars it costs for them to start planning for shutdown. I forgot the exact number.
it's
just-
terrible.
It's just that what's
Every like herky jerky almost shutdown costs the government billions of dollars. It's a bad way to do things, which is why Marjorie Taylor Greene likes it. She told a Sky News reporter to kiss her ass this week.
Yes, I did hear that.
That was pretty good. Way to focus on NATO. All of that is not going to be covered tonight.
Can't do it.
There's too much else to talk about.
Right.
Okay.
Can we take a take?
Can we take? All
All
right.
right.
So what's this one?
Kiss my ass and shut down.
Good one,
Pretty
but
Think like Brian.
Yeah. Think like Brian. Marjorie's ass. Marjorie's ass.
You won.
damn, so good. But
Ah.
all right, the actual answer is you had Marjorie, but it was no time for MTG.
Oh. I mean, that's pretty close.
That's close, but not that close.
Hate trans people because they soft.
Mega's MVP.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, Tez. Well, let's get a recap. Right now, the score is tied.
1-1.
Hey,
One
look
and one.
at that.
All
How
right.
many questions do we have left?
We got plenty, but
Oh,
you know,
okay,
until
plenty.
until like I say, we'll stop around 12:15. So
Okay, there you go.
all right.
Okay, well,
Hey,
So
all right.
Tez, you
His
still
game.
control the board.
All right, I control the board. We're gonna go with what is it? Host up.
Host up. Okay.
I
Host
think
up
it's host
again.
up.
All right. Host up again. Okay. Host up.
he's picking one.
Yep. All right. Yeah, I got a lot of play.
There's a lot of options
Yes.
because it's about us.
Mhm.
We're always on this show, except when you're not.
Yeah. Okay, you got me.
Well, sometimes I'm not here. Yeah. There is this guy called Robert. Remember how Matt Gates adopted
Oh, you're
Ready.
Gonna, oh, you're gonna love. Actually,
Arlie?
I think you're gonna love this one. Yeah, let's do this.
Are you trying to? All right, so we're
Of course, I'm trying to cheat.
He is not me. No.
It's like looking up old shows.
I'm not. No.
All right, here we go.
All right, so we're
I'll
back
do it my
with,
free time.
with our clip game.
Wait, hold on. Is this clip game about
our
clip
game
game?
master Brian, our esteemed
Yo,
super
this is so
producer,
meta.
You won an award for that, didn't you, Brian?
Yes, I did. I want a
Yeah.
nice white belt.
It's God. I didn't buy the belts. Take that up with the 420 guys. But yeah, so and we've got a score. And the score is 1-1. The Imp Clip Georgia score. You can see it's 1-1 now for the first half.
That's gonna be a random thing I say.
Georgia. All right, so
I have an answer. Imp Clip Georgia.
oh my God,
Imp Clip Georgia. Obviously, I'm going Imp Clip
we're
Georgia.
already watching us watch our own. Yo, you had to get that.
Okay. I'm calling back. Hey, I have my answer. Don't play any more video. It's already. I'm done. That shit made me laugh so hard.
That's still the most classic.
That is a fucking Imp Clip Georgia.
Imp Clip Georgia.
Where is that? Where in Georgia?
It was just a little before that, because I looked up and I was like, "Wait, Imp Clip Georgia," because it cut off.
Clip Game.
Yeah, Clip
Game's code name is Imp Clip Georgia.
Clip Georgia. And that was us watching us play the Clip Game
At 1-1.
and it 1-1.
My fucking face hurts. That's
Oh my
so
God.
fucking stupid. Yo.
That was so. Man, this is maximum DJ to ourselves.
Yo, oh my God.
Oh Lord,
Says he still controls.
Oh,
Okay,
God. All right,
yeah.
I'm going to Crush now. And I'm going
You're really good at the Imp Clip Georgia.
I know. Yeah. Imp Clip Georgia, 500. No, I might as well say hi. Is it Host Up?
Yeah,
Imp Clip Georgia.
Imp Clip Georgia.
I forgot about that.
I had too. I wasn't lying when I say like this show happens and then it just happens. And it's like it's the experience.
Yo,
But for everybody else who's watching it, like it's for them, that's an experience. And then I hope they forget it too. I remember how Matt Gaetz adopted a son and then nobody's heard about him since.
Yeah.
He was 19. Guess what the deal is with Mike Johnson's 17-year-old son? Yeah, he's not his actual son. And he's not actually officially adopted either. He just, lives with him.
Funny business.
Something
funny
about
business.
this does not smell right.
Funny business.
Funny business. I can't imagine a dumber way to undo your speakership.
How many speakers do we have this year?
Well,
2 more?
7 or 8, I guess.
7 or 8.
I don't know.
I think 2 more.
This guy is Eddie
He's not
Hauser
going to make
2.0.
it. Yeah, he won't make it. I think we get 2 more.
Before the end of the calendar year?
No, before the end of next year.
Or
Before the election, more so, yeah. Yeah,
2?
so far, you're wrong about that. Yeah, he's gone. He's gone by January.
No,
right?
I think
He's gonna butcher.
one of two things is going to happen. The sex scandal is going to emerge, and he's going to get hung on it.
Yeah,
Pun definitely intended. Or
call that Pence.
he's going to get
Get
penced
penced.
on it. The second thing that's going to happen.
This dick.
I don't know if that's exactly appropriate, but sure.
It works.
His name is Mike Johnson.
Yeah.
The other thing is
Oh,
that could happen is he cuts a deal to keep the government open, and Matt Gaetz attacks him again, and that's all over. So one of those two things is going to happen before February, 100%.
Yeah,
Neither of us was
if
right.
you are right.
Disagree. Hit us in the comments in this show. I will personally bet everybody a 6-pack that listens.
Remember last time you did this with Strasburg, you hit a home run. Be careful.
$64.08.
Jesus,
I'll never forget that fucking guy. There's so many in that. The whole thing is. Remember how Matt Gaetz adopted a son and then nobody's heard about him?
Oh yeah, he was raspy.
I was fighting it off.
Yeah, he was raspy, but no.
I got to leave. I can joke around now.
It's something about Johnson. This Johnson, something like that.
This Johnson.
You know, we're like this dick, but it's like Johnson, Mike Johnson,
Uh,
or Pence. Something about Pence, Johnson Pence.
no, we're not giving it.
Oh, well,
If you really thought about, you were really listening, you were making a bet, so you were betting on Porn Johnson.
Oh,
So
not after 2025 project. Porn is banned.
pretty much.
Yeah.
Sadly.
It's your accountability partner.
Yeah.
All right, Tez.
Yep.
We got-
How are they going to enforce that?
Baddie Politico.
back to the baddies.
Not that there's anything wrong with that.
Oh, it's only the gay frogs.
It's fine.
That's the only one.
And the salamanders too.
Yeah. Yes.
Very clear where that. Did you know that we live in the region with the highest
Highest
number of salamanders and newts in the world?
Did not know
Like the
that.
highest concentration of it. Yeah.
We have a lot of creeks.
Yeah.
That's it.
Exactly. So like the southeastern Appalachian Mountains, our region, like from basically, I don't know, the middle of Ohio down to the Florida Georgia line, is got. Can we take a tangent off the marketplace for a second?
Go ahead.
Get to the State of the Union, which we didn't get to really.
Oh,
talk
we
about.
definitely did talk about that. Yeah.
Joey B did a really good thing
Woo!
in the State of the Union. First of all, he should be hosting the Oscars.
Yeah.
He killed, and one of the things that he did was baited the Republicans into this same stupid thing again. They fell for it last year, where he's like, my friends across the aisle want to cut Social Security and Medicare. And they all go, no. And he goes, oh, good. So we're all in agreement. We're not going to touch those. Cool. And they're all like, hey. But he did it like 4 times this time. And they all fell for it each time. One of those times was when he was talking about the benefits of the IRA, the IRA, as they're calling it now, the Infrastructure Recovery Act, and also which they call the Green New Deal that they're so mad about, and all of the other investments that got through in the first couple of years. And overwhelmingly are going to districts that did not vote for Joe Biden.
Right.
And he made a big point of it. He's like, look, all of this is going into your districts. None of y'all voted for it. None of you, not a one. But you'll take the credit, won't you? And they all were like, hey. And he's like, tell me I'm wrong. Show me where I'm wrong.
If only they had a projector behind him and he could like start running pictures of the various members of Congress going to like ribbon cutting events that were brought on by that.
If they incorporated a visual aspect to the State of the Union and let them do it the way that like the Daily Show does, it would be amazing.
All right, what's your answer?
Jesus.
Heavy air quotes engaged to, but I'm not going to tell you.
I'm gonna say like project or something. I don't know, like I don't know. Projector. Projector projections.
Nope.
Striking out.
All right.
I'm up, so I can keep striking out.
Daily State of the Union.
Oh.
Good, but
No.
it's Rope a Dope Joe does it again.
Oh,
God, I'm not getting that one. That's
no,
good.
it's too far out there. So like this is the thing that we're talking about. Like these things have these great names and it works so well. We're just not that smart.
You gotta believe.
We gotta believe.
You gotta believe. All right. Go. Wrong person. You don't have to lead. The other person does.
Oh, Tez is still in control.
Still on the board.
Still controlling the board.
Keep doing it. Daddy Politicos is host up. What's the other? Oh, I'm missing.
Mixed bag and guess. Yeah.
Mixed bag. We haven't did mixed bag in a while. Mixed
Okay.
bag.
Mixed bag. All right. We can go back to mixed bag. Mixed bag. Oh, you're gonna
Control
love
Congress.
this one.
Exactly. Look.
Yo. Don't tell the future speed. Internet
Right.
is the robot. All right. What's in the mixed bag, Brian?
A lot of interesting stuff, but I think you'll like this one.
You
I think
so?
actually I think you may get this one. So,
Okay.
So
Let's hope. because scores are at the historic
It's
level.
very interesting where there's more, where there's no offense to you, right? You're just getting into
No,
this.
please.
But but like where there's
Listen, PlayStation 1, MTV.
oh
Beats
God. Yes, I know the exact game you're talking about.
It's not a game.
Oh, it's a game.
It's a game.
It is. It's on PlayStation. It's a game.
It was literally the way that we could sample.
Yes, I know what you
but
mean.
it was the way that we could do it.
Yes.
In 2001.
I'm very aware of that. I'm very aware of that. PlayStation game. It was a game. Don't say it was not a game.
MTV Beats.
Oh God. God, I hope I didn't lose my thought on this. Oh, that
No
when
offense to me, I can write really well, but
but like
any good
again,
at it.
where there were too many words, it kind of sped up to kind of condense, like as if I knew I had put too many words inside a specific area of the verse. It did it to the beat, and I was like, oh, I can see where, right, and you can still hear it, but like it's so new to do that. That's wild.
Yeah. It's not like the Barney Rubble rap, you know?
And new to like,
So
there's a lot of words.
It
did on the flip,
available and available, but it had a few little stumbles where it sounded like that's not the way I would have done it. If
Well, it's
it
a
was
robot.
Yeah.
Right.
It's still being
So
ironed
it's
out.
still getting there.
It's gonna get better though every
Yeah,
time you
yeah.
do it.
So every time we feed it stuff, it's getting better.
the answer.
Yeah.
So, the rest of the world should be ready for a chip hop.
Chip hop.
Chip hop.
He's taking hip hop.
I was already there.
Hip hop.
It's
It's
hip
hip hop.
All right.
Jenny, the way this works is
beats.
We're gonna read you a story with the locational details removed, and you have to tell us whether this happened in Florida or not in Florida.
I was just
We didn't allow him to
All right. Ready?
Hold off on that.
An online pastor was charged with civil. I mean, I hadn't.
Oh, can I reform my answer?
Well, let's say this. Okay, so Tess, reform your answer quickly.
You're tuned into chip hop.
Okay. And
Just something chip hop. I
It's
don't know.
something.
It's gonna have chip hop in it. I don't know.
all right, here's how we're gonna do it. We'll give you both a point.
Yes.
So it's 3-2. So officially the title is Chip Hop is Born.
There you go.
That's
All right.
All right, so here's
So
the
where
deal.
were you when Chip Hop was born? Right there.
Right there.
Yeah.
Yes, I will pick the final category.
Oh, wow.
And yeah, so
Doo-doo-doo.
yes. So here's how the scoring is going right now. So
Tez is winning.
yes, Tez is winning thanks to the nice little up split. So this will be double points. Depends on how.
Wow.
All right. So like I said,
Moneyball.
I could recover.
yes.
Okay.
And the category will be. This is one of my favorite clips. I really
no.
like this clip.
Now I'm worried.
And it's from Guest Right.
I guarantee it's somebody making fun of me.
Not really.
I'll eat Mitch McConnell like corn on the cob. I'm ready.
So one of the weird things that happened this week was that the Heritage Foundation got hacked by a bunch of furries.
Oh, they're back.
Oh yeah, recently hacked Heritage and like published all the names of all of their members. And so when they would claim that like so and so is not connected to Heritage, it could be like, oh yeah, here's the thing. And then the leader of that part of Heritage like got on a chat conversation with the furry that hacked them and was like, what are you seeking / threatening? And they were like, nothing. We just want to publish all the names of all the people who try to oppress us and whatever. And the guy like called the furry a bunch of names and whatever. So then the furry guy was like, well, I'm not sure if your people are into vor or not, but it is blah, 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 blah. And I was like, holy shit, wait, what is vor? Do you know what vor
I have no
is?
clue what that is.
This is some sort of weird like anime manga thing where I guess dragons or maybe people like eat other people. It's like a manga thing where like the dragon swallows a house full of people. Or...
That is not cool.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know what that
That's
is.
what I watch on HBO every
That
Sunday.
is not on my anime
That's
list.
what I watch on HBO every
But
Sunday.
apparently a lot of the Heritage Heritage guys are into this,
Oh,
and the furries have receipts,
oh God.
and they published them on Twitter.
Well,
Yeah, go check my Twitter feed, ChipChatRR.
all right,
You
here
can
we go.
find it. It's right there. Inspired by the segment that I created that SNL stole from me.
How
We're
could
gonna
be inspired by it?
Oh no. Inspired by myself.
There, okay.
We're gonna play this game
This is
called
crazy.
Jokes We Didn't Write.
All right.
And the way this works is I wrote jokes for Pat, for Brian, and for you, Tez, and we're gonna each take turns reading the jokes that the other guy wrote for us.
I wrote you some terrible jokes. I'm very sorry.
77-year-old Pat Sajak has officially handed over the Wheel of Fortune host job to Ryan Seacrest. Viewers knew Sajak was beginning to sound like your racist grandpa when he kept refusing players from using the letters C, R, and T.
That was so funny.
This is the most writing I've ever done for this show, and Chip did it for me.
Yep.
Working with the arts is a fulfilling career, one that I love, and that it fully fills venues with poetry, but never my wallet.
I have a confession.
Oh,
I know
yeah.
I'm supposed to be media and tech support, but you guys are so boring that most of the time, unbeknownst to you, I'm over here scrolling through Pornhub under keyword Bober Beatles juice.
I have right.
All right, what is this one?
Bober, Beetlejuice me, please.
Trout was the hardest thing I've ever done by far. I remember one of the drills finished. They're like, all right, you guys can go to the bathroom. I ran to the bathroom, closed the door behind me, just exploded in tears in the bathroom. Like I didn't even want to. My body was just so tired. It was day 2.
Sajak.
I just splashed water in my face. Everything hurts.
Pat Sajak.
Like, this is insane. And then one of the refs
That's
just
so
comes up
bad.
to
You
me.
should lose points. You
Like,
should lose points.
Like I was like, what's
I don't know.
happening?
There's
So
a
I go
lot
to the front of
going
the ring,
on. Simple
and they're all
is
lined up,
the-
and they're like, "We'd like to see you cut a promo,
Friends,
please."
right?
Okay.
The worst day of all was watching my best.
Yeah. Good lesson. Don't worry, we're gonna not learn it.
Again, that is just the
Guys,
winner.
why?
There
Have you ever lost this game?
I don't remember when I win these.
Yeah, I think you always win.
Do I always win?
I think you won. Yeah, you won the last.
Last game? I'm very happy I almost got a perfect. That is really why I'm excited. That one wasn't hard though, obviously. It clipped Georgia. Oh no, I got a different one. No,
And the chip hop one.
Chip, but no, there was one before. Was it Ip Clip Georgia?
the easiest, the one that you got was
And the Ip Clip.
not the Ip Clip was a given. That
Oh,
was a
yeah, I
given.
should've
Straight
known
up
that.
given. Anybody could have gotten that one.
Ip Clip Georgia.
What did you get? I forgot. It's been a minute.
It has been.
I have
Just
to, like, hey, I have to
Chip
go
hop.
back in the kit.
You got the chip
Yeah,
hop
I got
one.
the chip hop and got the Ip Clip, but the one that you got, I think, surprisingly, if there was you were able to get. So, but I had to give it to you.
All right.
You got it right again. Oh, yeah, you got it right off the bat. So I just can't.
Oh yeah, I can't. I was like, yeah, I need to hear no more.
Mhm.
I have the answer. Final answer. Final answer.
Finally,
Final answer.
do you need to phone a friend? No.
No.
Got it.
I'm in.
Yeah.
I used to love when they would just like, no, I know. Regis, I have it.
Yeah.
Regis, I have
You
it.
don't have to keep reading. Thank you.
A great game.
Is
show.
he still alive?
No.
Regis?
No.
No, he died like a decade ago.
Oh, okay. Well, it's fine. All right, we've come to the end of the show, as you can hear by the music, and thank you to Brian for the clip game and
Yes.
and all of the clips that contribute to the clip game.
Clip time.
Yep, it's very Inception. Thank you to Roger for coming back on the show. Go get his new stuff. Make sure you save a record for me. See if you can get in on one of the experiences too.
Yeah.
For real, that sounds really cool. Thanks to our producer Brian, of course, for the clip game. And the names that we all enjoy every time I post them, but I never remember. Thanks to our radio partners, the CBC, BBC, and the ABC. That's
Hey.
the Aussie Broadcasting Corporation. Thanks to our home on the interwebs, coplaymedia.com. Go vote for us in the podcast awards. We put a link up on our Facebook page, so we'll repost that. Thanks as always to our family here at Beltway Radio for making us sound as smooth as Joker's Wimbledon this year. He got booed. It was really funny. All right, where can everybody get you on the socials?
You can find me still talking baseball. I didn't talk any. I have so much baseball talk. Maybe next week we can talk. Go Nats. On Twitter at DC Cortez. You can find me on Instagram at Ketchum Cordy, and you can always find me being a flaming liberal on Blue Sky at DC Cortez.
Right. All right. And you can find me and the show on the Twitter at ChipChatRR, and you can find us on Facebook or Instagram at RibChipChat. And you can, of course, find us every Thursday night here on Beltway Radio and beyond. I'm Chip. That's Tez. That's Brian. Thank you, Brian. Where can everybody get you on the socials, Brian?
Right now, it's BTB Picks underscore. No, the real BTB Picks underscore one, something like that. I don't know.
We'll tag you in all.
Yeah, let's say yeah.
All right, and so there again, I'm Chip. That says that's Brian. You've been listening to Chip Chat on Beltway Radio and beyond.
Sweeps.
If this new song becomes a big hit, early bird and his big collect half the profit. Hits climb north and sometimes birds fly south. Nothing that you're hearing came out of my mouth. This is Chip's robot and his voice is kind of whack, but at least it took no effort. Get him on the track. Chip Chat, the known cipher. We coming to the track feeling kind of hyper. The known leaders of the Beltway Radio. Make the ladies say yeah and the fellas say yo. We're trying out this new A, I call it the new method. Separate, and we would probably call this track tepid. We don't care that the robot is rapping, as long as it gets the place toe tap. Our man Bird did the digital like a Bobby, the software.